Welcome to Dad Crossing, a podcast about animals and parenting. In today's episode, we'll be capping off the Halloween event, discussing when and what fall the Harvest Festival might look like, and talking all about our favorite holiday snacks. With today's guest, that's right, folks, we got a guest. Andrew, known as Andros, on our Discord and the co-host of Nintendopals. How you doing today, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about snacks.
Yeah, I can talk about snacks. As people who listen to the last podcast know, I can talk about snacks for way too long, let me tell you.
You see, it's the holiday season's coming, so like there's mince pies everywhere in the UK at the moment, and the wife keeps finding different ones. So last week she brought me some salted caramel ones, and today she brought some like crumble style ones home.
Okay, I know we're going to talk about snacks. I know. But wait, I thought mince pies were always like meat pies. Like, they're just no. What's a mince pie? I know I'm jumping like an hour ahead, but I got to know. Like, what defines a minced pie?
It's dried spiced fruit in a jam, basically. That's the best way I can describe it.
Well, freaking A. Listen, see, I'm a dumb American right there. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah. What's that apart from a regular pie?
Good point. Good question.
Just curious.
You see, we don't have pie. We have like tarts and lattices, and we have all kinds of different names for a pie. Like you get apples, stew it, and put it in a pie, and put some pastry over the top. That's a pie. We like that for us is like an apple crumble or an apple strudel, or it's like. We don't just everything that goes in a tin with some pastry around it is a pie for you guys. So
Well, like, you can throw blueberries, chocolate, whipped cream. You can throw a chicken in there. It's still just a freaking pie. That's all we do over here. It doesn't matter. Can't lie about that. All right. Well, that's off the rails. We're way too far ahead. Andrew, you jumped on the Discord. I know that we were in a dinner table thing together once. Like, tell us a little bit about you, how you found the Nintendo dads. Are you a dad? Like, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a dad. I've got two little kiddos, a boy and a girl, and
I put you on the spot. Awesome. Good job.
I'm like, I feel like I should pull out like my wallet with the pictures, like
That's
the baby
right.
pictures.
All you need to give us is an account number and a credit card.
My mother's maiden name.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, and I need that security thing on the back. So that's all. Just
all I've got to ask
is
because you've got one of each. Which one do you find to be the most unclean? I don't know how old they are, but. As I've discovered, as girls get older, they're so much dirtier than boys.
Yeah, man, I don't know, because my daughter, she's just a little over 1, so she's messy. She's messy, definitely. But my boy is also pretty messy because he's just about 4 years old. So they're both young. So it's I think that's just with the age. I don't understand. We had to sweep twice tonight after dinner, like once in the middle and then afterwards, because it was just that bad of a mess. I'm like, how do you get did any food get into you? It's just all on the floor.
We go full Dexter at dinner time. We used to go full Dexter with like a sheet under the rim and everything, so anything that like landed on the floor you could just roll up and chuck it straight in the trash.
That's a good idea.
So I'm not gonna lie, last year for our anniversary, we just told everybody, give us money for a Roomba. And that thing, I swear to goodness, was the best thing we could ever ask for. It was a little pricey. We got I think it was like $500 or $550 or something like that. But let me tell you, that thing just sucks up everything. Like, it's great. Like, we're so lazy, we'll be like, we walk away from the table, we're like, well, if that dries, the Roomba will suck it up. So we just like walk away from it all, man. And then it's like an hour later, we just send the Roomba in the dining room, and it's like, and you're like, yep, all right, it's good. Like welcome to my world. That's how we do it.
I take it you don't have a dog or a cat then.
Yeah, I've got a dog and a cat, and both of them are natural Roombas.
Nice. Yeah. We don't have a dog. So if we had a dog, maybe we wouldn't need a Roomba.
Well, but your Roomba probably doesn't have gas. So
That's
the only
rough.
reason why I ask about that is because if your dog or cat leaves you a present, the Roomba drives straight all over it. I'm pretty sure you've seen the nightmare photos.
Yeah. I've seen the YouTube videos of that, and it's pretty bad. Like it's
Oh,
pretty
no.
it's real bad.
I had no idea that was a thing. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, it's rough. So, excuse me. Sorry. So
I can answer. I was gonna.
Oh, yeah,
quickly,
go ahead.
I can answer the question on how I discovered Nintendo Dads.
Oh, yeah,
and
okay.
started
All right.
listening to you guys.
I felt bad. I put you on the spot.
No, it's all good. I found the Nintendo Dads because during COVID, like when the pandemic first hit, I got really working from home. It's really quiet. I was like, well, maybe I'll like listen to something while I work and while I'm just at home. And so I went to podcasts, ones that I had heard before, and I was like, well, I bet there's podcasts on other stuff I like. So I was like, I'll just Google things I'm into, and I'm a huge Nintendo fan, so I Googled Nintendo, and Nintendo Dads happens to be like one of the top results in most searches. And I was like, hey, I like Nintendo. I'm a dad. It's perfect.
It's meant to be.
And that happened to be about the time that you guys started the Dad Crossing podcast. So I jumped in on that, and I was all in on Animal Crossing when it came out. So yeah, so that's how I discovered you guys, and eventually joined up on the Discord and been hanging out with the community there. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure it is. Well, we are glad to have you, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
we love having guests.
Thank you very much.
So, Sean, how have you been since the last time we chatted?
I've been all right. I've been busy. I had a 2-week course last week on power station operating principles, which took a lot of time up. Passed the exam, got 90%, so I'm quite happy with that.
Way to go.
Yeah, just been. If I didn't get anything above 80%, I think I'd need to take myself out into the garden and bury myself. I've been working that job for 17 years, so if I didn't know anything about it, I'd be worried. But now, other than that, been busy. Kids have kind of gone back to school. We've got another lockdown looming, so we've kind of been preparing as best as we can, because we've got a family that needs quite a bit of support. So, like, Lindsay's grandparents need us to do the shopping, and so we've been trying to get as much things done for them ahead of it going absolutely crazy as we can. So that's about it, really.
Nice. Well, we have a guest, so it is Nintendo Dad's deal to start with the guest. So we should probably just filter that down to the family of podcasts. And when we get into what have we been playing, Mr. Andrew, what have you been playing lately?
Alrighty. This week, it wasn't this week. Recently, the full version of Risk of Rain 2 released on consoles, including Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I was in on early access for that. I got it when it first dropped on the Switch. I played the first game on PC. I think I got it for like $5 on Steam or something like that, and really liked it. So jumped in on the second one, played that in early access. And the full game added like a story and a final boss to the game. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or played it, but it's like a roguelike alien shoot 'em up.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know much about it, to be honest, past the name, quite frankly.
Yeah, so the fun of that game is that you collect power-ups, and they stack together and basically make your character into this just like wacky looking. And in this game, they actually like put the things you get onto the character. So if you get like a hat item that goes on your head, glasses. So by the end of it, your space character looks like he got into a wrestling match with like a thrift store. And you're just running around with like this, like all this stuff on you, which is pretty funny. But all those things stack together to do just crazy stuff. So like if you get like one item and there's like a gasoline can, and it's when you defeat an enemy, it explodes. If you get 10 of those, the explosion's 10 times bigger, kind of deal. Yeah. And so then, I mean, if you stack that up super, super high, you hit one enemy, suddenly everybody's just exploding around you because it's gotten so big that it damages everybody else, and it gets to a point where like the game can't keep up with all the stuff that's happening on screen, and it's just part of the game. And I don't know. It's quirky, cool indie game. I really enjoy.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like I played a game called Rad, and it had, I don't know about all of it, but just that part where it was like you'd get like an arm that did one thing, and maybe your legs were totally different, so you'd like have a jumping mechanism or run really fast. But yeah, it had that same kind of thing where you'd like add appendages and arms and stuff, and you could look like that totally weird when you were done.
Yeah, it's very similar to Rad's.
Okay.
Like the item stacking, but it's like a third-person shooter. Cool. Comparison to like Fortnite, and you have like different gun abilities that have different cooldowns. So yeah, I mean I could talk about this game forever. It's a lot of fun, and I really like the co-op multiplayer, which it has online.
Oh, that's nice. So, yeah, that's always helpful.
Yeah, I've just had a quick look at some stills and stuff. I like the graphics. I like shaded style looking graphics.
Yeah, it kind of has a Breath of the Wild look to it, and the levels are really big and open. It's not so focused on exploration, but it has that element to it, I guess. So, yeah, a lot of fun. Besides that, I've also been playing some Fortnite with the Halloween event going on.
Oh, cool. Did they merge that with Marvel stuff, or is that been two separate events?
It's been two separate events. I thought that was kind of a missed opportunity. I mean, like there's some Halloween-y Marvel stuff, but no, they did like a solo Fortnite style event. The Marvel stuff's still there, but it's not integrated with Halloween at all. Okay. A lot of fun. I'm enjoying that, and playing Mario 35, obviously with the monthly mayhem going on the Nintendo Dad's Discord.
Yeah, how have you been doing it? What's your level? What level are you? Do you know?
I am 92.
Oh my gosh, you're way past me. Congratulations.
Yeah, well, I'm nowhere near the guys out.
Well, that's true, yeah.
They're like past
142, I think I saw, or 143, I think I saw from Drew.
Crazy.
I don't know, That's crazy.
And they've played just as much as me, so I don't know how that works out. I'm like looking at the clock. I'm like, wait. That game's been a blast, and I really hope that they add some like friend play functionality to that. That would be super, super awesome. Like I want to play a big room with people I know.
Yeah, I think Marty put something up about it for Extra Life, that he'd like it to be one of the things that they do while they're doing the Extra Life stream is to have like if they could get a lobby of everybody from the Discord and people you know.
Yeah, that would be a really fun event to take part in.
Even if you did it unrated, because I know like I know part of the worry probably with Nintendo as well. There's a lot of ranking in that game, so you could like get everybody together just to like boost one player. But so like even if you wanted to do friend lobbies, like it would all be unranked and none of it would really count. That would still, I'd be totally down for that.
Yeah, same. I mean I enjoy the game's just mechanics without the level up system. So I mean it's Mario, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but being able to play that multiplayer with people, with a friend group or with like the Discord, that would be super fun. Yeah,
totally.
They totally need to add that functionality. I think Tetris 99 has that functionality, so I bet it's gonna come.
I think it does. There's a version you need to buy, like a $9 version that you need to buy, even if you have Nintendo Switch Online, I believe. And I think that version has you can play not couch co-op, but like local Switches can join in on one game, I believe.
Yeah, and I'd be happy with that as well. We do have two Switches here. It'd be fun to play with my son, who's really into Mario right now.
That's good.
So yeah, and then in addition to Mario 35, I've been playing Pokemon Leaf Green. Another, and the dad Discord's got me playing all these games.
Yeah, that's a dinner table game, right? The retro rewind, I should say. Rewind.
Yes, I have not played the first generation Pokemon before. I actually own it. So I have Leaf Green and I have Pokemon Yellow, but I never played them. So I'm excited to be in that, and I'm having fun with it. It's definitely
the only Pokemon games I've ever played are the first gen. I literally never played anything after that, ever. Even like on the Switch, I've played Let's Go, but I won't play Sword and Shield because I don't like that there's more than the first gen of Pokemon. As soon as I get above like 160 Pokemon that I have to collect, I'm like, nah, it's too much. I can't remember the names. I can't remember what they do, who battles what better. It's just, no, I'm happy. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah, I got pretty far with the series. I didn't get Sword and Shield, but I've played most of the other games. I played the second one and played a lot of the third generation, which I think is like Ruby, Sapphire, and Leaf Green was the remake they made during that generation. So I'm nostalgic for the graphics, and so I was like, I'll play that. I think I'll play that and enjoy it. And yeah, I'm having a blast with it. It seems like it's just, I mean, it's such a good formula. They've essentially made that game over and over again for like 20 years. So
I made a lot of money doing it. So
yeah, that's for sure.
Foolproof.
Yeah. So played a little bit of that. And nice thing about that is that it's on my Game Boy Advance SP. So I just have it in my pocket. I'm like, hey.
Did you have to dust that off, or do you play it on a regular anyways?
No, I had to dust that off. I had no idea where it was. I had to find it. Yeah. Yeah. And then in addition to that, I played some Rocket League. Had a buddy get into Rocket League that I haven't played games with for a long time, just because he kind of fell off the gaming wagon, but all of a sudden got really into Rocket League, and so I hopped back on and we've been playing with him.
Rocket League is one of those games that I suck at, but is one of the few games that I can watch, and I really am like entertained by the people who are good at it. Like the people who can, because I know, like, I mean, I've played it enough to know that I have no idea how to make the card do what those people do. And for some reason, it's very entertaining for me just to be like, I have no idea how you did that. Like, but that's really cool that you can do that. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of skill in that game if you really get involved in it.
Yeah. So I'm not one of those skilled people. No, I definitely, I can't make my car fly. I just can't figure that out. Like people that can like they can like, they're like a homing missile on the ball.
Yeah.
I'm like, but luckily it's skill matches, so it puts me down at the lower tier with the with the people of my speed.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, I play a lot of the rumble mode in that, which is essentially the Mario Kart mode, where you get items randomly given to you.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, you can use rockets and punching gloves and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to play. Maybe because I like Mario Kart and it's just more random, and maybe I feel like I can counter the people that can fly a little better. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it's free to play now, so anybody can get it and try it out.
No, I bought it when it was money.
Yeah,
when it was actual
when it was money.
Darn it, when you had to pay actual cash. Oh well. Anyways.
Yeah. And then my last game on my playlist, I played a little bit. I want to play this a little bit more, but it's a big time commitment. Baldur's Gate 3 on PC, which after Risk of Rain 2 came out of early access, I was like, I really enjoyed playing an early access game, like having just one in my regular schedule, because you come back to it and it's got updates. It's kind of like Animal Crossing, how it's fun to come back when they push out a new update. So having a game like that in your regular schedule is a lot of fun. And Baldur's Gate 3 is very good. It's been a lot of fun. I don't know if
I have not played it at all.
No,
I was trying to find. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like a.
I didn't say anything. Never mind.
It's like a. I have not played D&D, but from everything I've read, it's like the video game equivalent of D&D. It plays with those rules, so it's like playing a board game that's facilitated by a video game almost.
Okay.
Graphically looks amazing. They have, and it's in early access, so there's still a lot of quirks. But in my mind, that makes the game better. I know a lot of people are like, I'm going to wait for full release because I don't like the bugginess. But those people don't get to see bodies explode into like noodly, stretchy people when they get hit, or cutscenes where your party's standing behind you just staring at nothing in the distance.
I do like the idea of like I guess I don't normally play games that are early access games, but that's kind of cool. I mean, I do like that thought process.
Yeah,
It's also been able to see where it comes from as well. So seeing how a game develops, because I did that with Skater XL and Skate Sessions, and like watched how they slowly progressed the physics to make it more realistic, and it was really good to do. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the process of watching them like figure out the physics of the boards can spin this way, and you can late catch here, and like integrating everything. So watching things graphically get better, I can imagine is pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun to see. It's a lot of fun to come back and get like big updates to, oh, there's a whole new level, or there's a whole new mechanic they added. Yeah, that's...
It looks very Skyrim as well. It's a name of the game that I've not seen, so I just quickly looked at screen grabs, and it looks a bit Skyrim-ish in the...
Yeah, I don't know if you guys played any like old PC games where it's kind of that top-down isometric perspective, like Warcraft, like...
Yeah, I played Warcraft.
Yeah.
And Warhammer.
Yeah, it's very much in that genre of games, like, and that's, I don't know. I didn't play any of the previous games in this series, but I played Divinity 2 on the Switch, which is by the same company, and loved it. So, yeah, I'm always for these games that have really cool narratives and are still multiplayer. Which this one is. You can have a party of up to 4 people playing cooperatively through a narrative adventure. Like, that's the one thing that, being a Nintendo fan, you kind of miss out on. There's not a lot of those types of narrative multiplayer experiences. Like, I would love that if they added that to like Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild.
More than just being a hat.
Yeah. Or even Animal Crossing, which I don't know if this is the right section to talk about it, because I have played Animal Crossing as well. But I just, the local multiplayer, I just get frustrated because only the main person can do anything. Everybody else is just kind of there, kind of standing around, which is just no fun for the people standing around. Not even my son likes it, who's kind of like not really playing because he's so young. He just gets frustrated. He's like, "Hey, come over here. Hey, what are you doing?" And as I go off screen,
yeah. No, I agree. I guess the one thing, I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal, but if you could pick up your stuff and keep it instead of like it transporting to the recycle bin, man, that would really change it for me. Like, if I could just, I'd be okay with like being chained to wherever this person wants to go, especially because you can hot swap the leader, and that's cool. But it's the fact that like, if I cut down this tree and I like pick it up, I'm like, oh yeah, it's not mine. I gotta go fetch it from the recycle bin place to actually go get it. That's the part that I really wish they just let you put it in your inventory. But
that's the one way I've not played Animal Crossing yet.
It doesn't make sense to me why, because you can swap the leader and then you have all your pockets. It's not like they're gone. The pockets are still there. It just doesn't make sense.
No, I'm totally down. I've told this story before, but I set Noah up on my island because I was like, I bought 2 copies of the game, but I was like, I want to play with Noah. And so I set him up on my island. Like 30 minutes after play, I was like, okay, buddy, here you go. Here's the Switch Lite. Here's another copy of the game. I was like, you start an island. You're good. I'm done. I'm not doing this team thing. This is horrible. And that was it. I've never played like that ever since. I've never gone back. So, yeah.
So you bought 2 copies of the game before making that decision?
Yeah. Well, I had to get all, because I'm ridiculous with this game. I mean, it's well documented in this thing. I had to get this, otherwise how was I going to get this cool thing that Best Buy gave me? So yeah. Which, do you want to know what I do with this, Andrew? I leave it here and I put my phone on it so that it doesn't make noise when I set it down. Well, I'm sorry. This is an audio podcast. That was really bad. By this, it's a cloth bell bag that was like a giveaway if you bought a physical copy of Animal Crossing when it first came out. And to be real honest, I didn't do it. I almost bought another physical copy of Animal Crossing just so that I could get the Target Diary for 2021, but I did not. I stopped. It was in the shopping cart, but I stopped at that point. So yeah, no, I did.
See, we had we got the game. My wife and I played multiplayer, and we're like, well, this is not fun. We bought another Switch and Animal Crossing for my wife to play this game. We got a Switch Lite.
Yeah. Oh, it was this way. He did it too.
I did it as well. Yeah, we Lindsay didn't want to get into it at first, and then she saw I was playing, and then I bought a Switch Lite and another copy of the game, which we're potentially gifting to my youngest daughter as a Christmas present. We're reboxing it, and look here, we got you a Switch, because Lindsay just does. She's not touched it. She turned it on once at the beginning of the Halloween update, and then never again.
It's crazy because she was really into it too. I mean, she was
big time, yeah, more than I was at the start.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty crazy. All right, well, that's awesome, man. You've been playing a lot of stuff. I like it. Sean, what about you, man? What have you been up to?
I've finished Doom Eternal.
Nice.
Bested that. All I can say is I had to tone the difficulty down towards the end.
Yeah,
it's a crazy hard game. It just the final boss, I had to put it on almost the easiest difficulty and use the Sentinel armor that you get. That's reduces the amount of damage you take, because it's just unreal.
Sean just turned the boss into like a small baby, basically, and just like went to town with a shotgun.
Yeah, the boss was Isabel at that point.
Yeah. Well, they came out,
It was, I finished that. This week has been a week of finishing games for me.
Nice.
So we were playing Mario Party at the weekend, not just gone, but the weekend before, with both my daughters. And it came to my attention that I still hadn't collected all the gems. So I went about and did the challenge road and completely obliterated that in one sitting, which took some time. It took like 3.5 hours to do.
Yeah.
So I've now got all the gems, all the characters, we've got everything. So
doing that in one sitting. Some of those challenges are pretty. Did you get? I gotta ask your experience, because when I did the challenge road, it was like just a couple challenges that I just could not pass for a super long time. I would just spend like 20 minutes on one spot, and then everything else was a breeze.
Yeah, that was like that. Any rhythm ones, I employed the help of my eldest daughter for the rhythm challenges, because she's an absolute expert at them. I'm rubbish. Really am rubbish. So, we did like a bit of, like, every time I came across a rhythm one, she was sat next to me, and I just passed to the controller, and I was like, you need to do this for me.
Get this done. Yeah. Get this done for me. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, by the way, when you put in Discord, you're like, I beat Mario Party. I really wanted to be like, really? Like, really, Sean? Like, what does that mean, you beat Mario Party? But I was like, no, I don't want to be a jerk. So I was just like, good job.
Well, to me, I've accumulated that many plaza points that I've bought every sticker there is to get. I've got every character. I've got the golden ore. I've done all those sort of little challenges that are to the side that if you really want to play a lot, you can play a lot and do. So I think so. But yeah. I've been playing Pikmin 3 all this weekend. I've rolled the credits on the main story on that as well this weekend.
Wow. That just came out.
Took me, my wife said exactly the same. You spent 40 quid on this game and you've literally done it in less than half a day. In 7 hours and 13 minutes it took me to roll credits.
So to roll credits, but there's still a lot left to like side missions and stuff.
There's all the Captain Olimar side stories to do, and there's like a mission afterwards. So I don't want to spoil what you have to do, but there's a mission that you can do afterwards. But in the main story, I can also go back and there's like stuff to do to 100% it, which I will do because I like to 100% games. But yeah, there's still quite a bit to do on that for me to go back to and play around with. It took 7 hours and 30 minutes to roll credits, which allows you to do the other side stories and stuff like that. But I'm definitely going to go back to it.
I looked it up on how long to beat. It says the main story is 12 hours, so maybe you're just like a Pikmin professional.
No, it's the second Pikmin game I've ever played, and the first one I gave up on as a kid because it wasn't my style of game at the time. So,
but it definitely is a shorter game than I thought. 12 hours to main story, 18 hours to completion. So yeah, I mean it is. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. And then the other two games I've been playing, one of them is called House Flipper, which is a mobile game. I think it's started life as an indie game. I'm not entirely sure, but it's an idle type game for me where I kind of play it when I'm sat waiting for the kids to eat the tea, or and you're basically just painting and wallpapering walls in a house and selling it on. So sounds pretty boring, but it tends to take up quite a bit of my time when the kids are doing stuff and I'm like having to wait for them.
That's the definition of every mobile game. Sounds pretty boring, but it actually is kind of fun and takes up some time.
But yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, there's a repetitive process to it, but it's just something that I've been using to pass the time. And the last one I've been playing is Forza 7, which just came out on Game Pass on the Xbox, which has spiked me into looking at simulator setups because I'm an avid motorsport fan, massive Formula One fan, and World Rally Championships. And in my past, I've done quite a bit of road rallying and a bit of stage rallying myself. So, bless you. So, for anybody that can't see this, Nick's been a bit poorly. He's had a bit of flu and cold. He hasn't got the dreaded C19, but he's now sneezing off camera. So I just wanted to say, I literally just saw you disappear really quickly.
Yeah, we're all good.
But he's all good. So it's actually today's the day. He's feeling better than he has been for the rest of the week. So
that's definitely true.
A further recovery. So my wife got me a simulator experience for Christmas, which is like a race center where there's 10 different pods all set up with all the screens around you and you full feedback pedals and steering wheel. And my brother-in-law came along and we did sort of like a Formula One simulator morning last weekend. And I absolutely fell in love with it. The guys couldn't get me out like this. They kind of ran it where we had a bit of a practice session and then we did qualifying and then we had a race, and they couldn't get me out the seat after the practice because I was just in the zone. So I was flying through, I was like besting everybody's time by like 2 or 3 seconds. And just got really in the zone and really enjoyed it. Came away from it and I was like, I was sweat on my t-shirt, and I was like, because it was quite physical with the feedback on the steering wheel.
Oh, it's so cool. So simulator, you mean like there's going to be like a pedal and a steering wheel, like all like, and then it's going to be hooked up to your TV with this Forza game. Is this? Am I? I mean, I don't mean to sound like a grandpa here, but I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, basically, my dad's got one because my dad plays. He does lorry simulators because my dad used to be a lorry driver. For some strange reason, in his spare time now, he likes to sit and he's got a PC that runs a lorry, like a truck simulator, and he'll drive around the UK in his living room delivering stuff. But he enjoys it.
My spare time, I work.
Yeah, basically. So I've had a couple of goes with his, but yeah, it's a steel frame, and you can adjust it to the seat that you're in. And yeah, you've got a full bank of pedals, a full force feedback steering wheel with the Triptonic paddles on the back. Sorry. But what I've seen is a bit above that, and it would have to live in the garage with a standalone console and standalone TVs, and it kind of like the price kind of. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I admit it's more than I thought. I was like experiencing Labo, or like thinking of Labo in my head here, where you're like, if you got a pedal and a steering wheel and you're good to go. But no, this is like a full enclosed thing. That's pretty amazing.
So it'll be about £350 for the seat and all the frame that holds everything. There's a proper racing seat and everything that sits in it, and then it's that again for the pedals and the steering wheel. And that's for like a mid-range decent one. There's some that they're called Fantech, and they're like $2,500 for a set of pedals, not a steering wheel, just the pedals. Wow. So I'm not going that far.
That's like $1 million in American money. Did you know that?
And then I'd be able to do it with just one TV, but to get the full surround, you need 3 32-inch monitors. So.
I mean, at this rate, you might just invest in some like VR headset.
Yeah, unfortunately, Xbox yet don't do that. There's rumors that they found some code in the Series X console that kind of lets rip that they might be going down the route of the PlayStation VR kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just got rid of my PlayStation 4 and the VR setup. Otherwise, I'd have been doing it with Gran Turismo. So.
Yeah, I think the system has the power to do that. So
definitely
would make sense.
So, but anyway, that's pretty much, if I wasn't playing games, I'd spent my time researching how I can end up in a divorce. So
no, none of that. We're not going to let that happen.
Well, Lindsay's exact words were, if you end up buying that and putting it in the garage, I won't see you, so we might as well get divorced. She jokes, I hope, but
and you're like, well, all right, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Well, as Sean had mentioned, I wasn't doing the best last week. Scared that possibly I had COVID. I did not have COVID, just apparently the flu, I guess. So my doctor says. And so I haven't done a lot. I played a game called Cloudpunk for a review. You can see that on the Nintendo Dad's YouTube. It's kind of a cool futuristic game where you play as this illicit delivery driver, or you're a delivery driver for an illicit delivery company, I should say. And you have to go, and it's very story based. It's not like you can't really die. You just kind of the choices you make in the game, they change the outcome of what happens. And so it was a good game. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was a good game. And then my son has been into Luigi's Mansion. It just kind of happened. I think it was like a Halloween thing for him. He was like, let's play Luigi's Mansion. So we've been doing that. And to be fair, I'm trying to get into that, and it's not that I didn't love Luigi's Mansion. I totally did. But I am not a play a game again kind of person. And I did it all. I got the gems. I got the booze. I did everything you could do that wasn't Scare Scraper, quite frankly. And so I'm like,
I tuned out looking at the Cloudpunk for just a second and got pulled back in by you were getting booze for Luigi's Mansion. I was, what?
Yeah.
I was very confused for just a sec. So I got you now. Talking about ghost booze.
Ghost booze, yeah. No, I don't boo Luigi's Mansion 3. I think it's great, but I don't really want to play it again, I guess, is my thing. That's not my thing. And so I've been trying to stay engaged with him as he's like, let's do this. And so that's come and gone.
That's one game I've not finished yet. I've got to the last boss, and then I seem to have never touched it ever again.
That last boss is a bear, let me tell you. You need to get some bones for that last boss. And it's timed at the end, so it doesn't even matter if you got the bones and you don't get... And the mechanics, as I remember them, we haven't got there yet, but as I remember them, the mechanics for that last boss aren't always the easiest. We only had a few seconds left, as I remember. And it wouldn't have mattered if you had bones or not, because once the time's out, the time's out. That last boss is not easy. But you should do it. You should still do it.
The last boss.
It's the last boss. Seriously.
Finish it up.
But I will say it's a bummer in that game because they don't have a you beat the boss save file. So that's always a little annoying. They give you the achievement, but then like when you go back into the game, you're left right at the gate to beat the boss or go do something else. I really dislike that in games when they don't do that.
Yeah,
like,
I'm the same.
Yeah.
They've done that for a bunch of Nintendo games. Well, I've just thought of a few off the top of my head, but like Breath of the Wild did that. Paper Mario.
Yeah, like give me a you beat the boss save file, so that it's done. I don't know, just kind of that always kind of irritates me. But the last thing is nothing that I've played yet, but I am super excited. In a week, not at this point, but like in a week and a day, I will have my Xbox Series S. So very excited. I know you're happy for me, Sean. I could tell. I'm sure there's
Yeah, I am. So no, I can't wait for you to enjoy that, and you'll have to give me a gamer tag.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means, but I'm gonna do it. Sure, you better believe
your online handle, because I'm assuming you've got it with all the the Game Pass and everything. So.
Oh yeah, I'll get it all. I got the Series S, so I got to. I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, I could buy games digitally, but I have no plans to buy games. I just have plans to do the Game Pass with like the Ultimate thing. And
so, because if you get Doom, there's an online multiplayer version of Doom. So
sweet. I am totally gonna get Doom because I don't know if I probably won't beat it, but I will get it and just to experience it. That's what I want to do. I want to experience these games that so many people talk about, and I have no idea. I've never played them. So yeah, I'm excited for that, and I know I can play it on the Switch. So before I get a tweet or a Discord post or something, I know I can play it on the Switch, but I don't want to play it on the Switch because I'm not really gonna beat it.
Actually, that is on the Switch already.
Yeah, no. I know I could do that, but I'm not gonna play it long enough to beat it. Like I'm gonna download it to my Xbox and be like, oh, this is fun, but totally not for me. But at least I experienced it, and then it's gonna go away. So because I already know
Game Pass for the win.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm excited for this kind of stuff. So yeah, so that is all I've been playing and all we've been playing, which is actually quite a bit thanks to you guys. You pulled the weight. So let's chat about animals in our lives for a while. How about that? All right, on to Isabel's morning announcements. Just first off, before we get into Animal Crossing and what's been going on and what we've been doing and what we think, we have a contest going on, which is decorate your island to be spooky. And I know you're probably thinking, well, spooky's over, Nick, so stop talking about it. Well, we realized halfway through October that you weren't going to get all the spooky items until Halloween. So we, instead of ending it on Halloween, which is what we were going to do, we extended it 1 week. So the 7th of November is the last chance for you to get your pictures into us. And you could win some gift shop cards. How much was it? Do you remember, Sean? I'm sorry. I feel like I dropped the ball on that one.
It's 20. First place is 20. Runner up is 10. And
there it is.
Place, I've got some stickers from the Dad Crossing logo on. So
nice.
Third place will get some stickers.
I didn't even know about the sticker thing. That's pretty awesome. See,
well, I kind of just added it in then because I thought we've
good.
Extended it a week and it's nice. Third place is always nice to have something.
That's right.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
participation ribbon.
That's right. We'll give you a participation ribbon and some stickers. Thanks for showing up. So no, get your pictures in. We really want to have. We're gonna pit them off. I'm not gonna lie. We're ripping off what Monthly Mayhem did when Animal Crossing first dropped. We're gonna pit those pictures off against each other, and people can vote for which one they like the most. And the one who gets the most votes will move on, and then we'll just kind of do it in a tournament style that way. So get your pictures in. All right.
It's not ripping off if you steal it from, your sister podcast or brother.
Oh, no, he did it. He did it, Sean. He called it the sister podcast. Oh, no, it's back. You can't do anything about it now.
She's going to be angry.
All right. So, Halloween event. What do you guys think of pre-Halloween stuff? We talked about it a little bit, or Sean and I did, but what's been your take on it, Andrew, so far?
I kind of wish that I had, paid attention a little bit more, or maybe the communication was a little better on like how much candy you were going to need on like actual Halloween. Because I know some people that took a lot of time to make sure they got enough candy, and they had way too much. And then people like me that I didn't really put too much stock into it. I figured you'd be able to get get stuff day of. And I didn't have enough candy to do anything. Not to do anything, but just not enough to get everything.
Yeah.
So that the lead up, I wish there was a little bit more clear on like what you needed, but it was still a lot of fun. I liked all the decor that came, and yeah, who doesn't like candy? Everybody likes candy.
Yeah, I enjoyed the items. I thought the items were cool that you got. Even pre-Halloween, but the Halloween items, I know you got to get them on Halloween. I don't know a way to fix this problem before I gripe. I will say that. But it is kind of a bummer that you get like the major items on Halloween, and then it's like, well, it's fall now, so we're doing mushrooms and leaves, and now I'm like, well, I just got the stuff now. What do I wait a year before I like get to decorate with it? So like that stuff, I don't know how you solve that problem really, other than just make everything a pre-Halloween item. But that's no fun either, because then you don't get anything on the actual day. But that is kind of a bummer, I guess, is all I'm saying.
And they could make the items that you get on the actual day be stuff that's not necessarily holiday themed. I don't know, like a big statue or trophy or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, but then it doesn't really tie to the holiday. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how you solve it, but it is a bummer, because it's like, well, now I got the spooky carriage that I just got on the day, and what do I do with it? Or I got these 2 reactions, which are fun, and I'll scare people all year long. But it would have been nice if I would have had them earlier. So I don't know.
Yeah,
what do you think, Sean?
Yeah, I was hoping for something a bit more marvelous from Jack, especially because I did it all while we were driving. We went and we took the youngest out for the day to like a little fun fair where they had his first haunted house for him to go through and stuff like that. So I kind of did everything as the wife was driving us places. So it was kind of rush. I did it all in a rush, but I gave Jack so many lollipops, and he kept saying that like the more you gave him, consider that you get a bonus. And I was thinking, I wonder if like it's one of those that where we've had it before, where you've got something sent in the post the next day, and like I booted the Switch up today to play Animal Crossing. I was like, I've got absolutely nothing from him. So yeah, excuse me. That
yawn just totally reset you, Sean. That's what happened. You were I don't know.
So we either record when I've just woken up, or record as I'm going to sleep.
Yeah,
so
it's true. We are recording at a totally different time for Sean. It is it's now midnight there, almost 1.
No, it's nearly 5 to 1.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean.
It's all right. It's okay. Sleep's for the weak. And I'm weak. Help. No, it could have been a bit more to it. As I say, I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed the fact that all the villagers were out and about, and the reactions are really funny. I like using it just randomly. Staging-wise, like for the competition that we've got going on, I've kind of limited myself, because I flattened my island before. I've kind of limited myself a little bit as to what I can and can't do. But it's then, like I say, everything else. I kind of went around the village today and picked up all the other items from outside people's homes that I put as decorations, and kind of like put them all in the area that I'm going to use the photo for. And then I'm like, once I've done this photo, I've got like a metric ton of Halloween stuff. Like, what do I do with it? And so, yeah.
The thing about this contest made me think, why does Harv's Island not have a outdoor photo shooting spot?
Oh, that would be really cool.
Like,
that would be really cool.
That where you could just do the like quick drop, and you got the really nice decorating type thing. I don't know. That would be a neat thing to add.
Hey Nintendo, listen up. That's a really good idea.
Yeah,
I'd appreciate
yeah,
that more than having to destroy parts of my island all the time to different things.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That would be very nice. And I do admit, I will say, taking down Halloween's like a chore. Like it was like a 20-minute chore to like, all right, I gotta get everything. I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna store it. I sold most everything. I was like, I don't really care. I'm not gonna. I'm running out of storage space. The only thing I kept was my candy, obviously, because I, as Andrew was talking about, was one of those people who had like 60 things of candy. Because I was like, I'm gonna have enough. Oh, sure, I had enough. I still have like 50 things because I got a couple of candy on the actual day. And after I got 4 Jack Robes, I was like, I think I'm done. I think I got it all. We can call it a day. So I saved my candy. Good news, villagers. You're going to get the same. I don't have to get candy for like 4 years of Animal Crossing. So you're getting the same candy for the next like 3 Halloweens. That's it.
You're like the parent that bought it all like the day after you bought like 10 bags. I'll just be using this for the next 10 years.
When people are like, did you get the candy? I'll be like, no, I got it stored from 2020, so it's good. So it doesn't have COVID on it.
I've got COVID candy here.
COVID candy, that's right. who wants my COVID candy?
Have a bag of pandemic.
So yeah, I don't need to get candy ever again. But yeah, storing stuff, I didn't store much other than the candy sets because those were the only things that you DIY that costs actual candy. Like it costs 3 candies plus some pumpkins to make. So I was like, well, I'll save these because that seems a little more important. Other than that, the rest of it, I just sold and made a crud ton of cash. So and I did keep some pumpkins just in case because this is the mystery. Are pumpkins going to continue to grow?
I've not picked mine to try that yet.
They are growing right now. They are growing as of yesterday. I picked my pumpkin, one of them, and it started to sprout today. So they are currently growing, but you cannot buy them from Leaf or Tom Nook anymore. So that's for sure. I had Leaf on the island today, and he did not offer me pumpkins. So what you got is what you got. Do we think they're gonna die? Like they're gonna like wither and die at winter, or like because right now they're growing.
Sense. It makes sense for them to wither and die. We know that it'd keep with the game being seasonal. Aside, like the thing I've noticed when I came on today is that my trees are now all, apart from the cedar trees, are all brown. So that transition has been slowly throughout October. Like
even the bamboo turned brown a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I need to go up there and check that. I didn't realize that.
Little brown top of the bamboo. I was like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because that then tells me, because forget the hemispheres, right? As we go into winter in the northern hemisphere and we get like holly and stuff like that, the southern hemisphere are now going into their bamboo season. So I
believe you.
I was reading, I can't remember what I was reading now. I was looking at, I think I was on Instagram and somebody was like talking about the difference between the two hemispheres. So they're now getting like their big island or the big flat island is now going to have all bamboo on it, where previous it didn't. So I haven't got a friend that's in the southern hemisphere to sort of like discuss that with. I kind of tried to make one through Nookazon, but it didn't work. So
He didn't want to be your friend.
no.
I'm just kidding. I do have somebody who did choose the Southern Hemisphere. He hates that he chose it. He's not in the Southern Hemisphere, but his wife got the game as well, so he chose the Southern because she was in the Northern, and he hates that he did that now that it's been done. But I don't think he's really playing much anymore. But I can text him and see what he's got over there. But it makes sense that it'd be the spring stuff.
Yeah, I've got a contact that he bought 2 copies of the game for himself and did one of each.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, he can have his Critterpedia done in half time.
I know. That's why I was like, this guy, like he's been the source for the Critterpedia.
Yeah.
Random, like only available this time of year stuff.
FYI, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, December you can finish if you've played from the beginning and you've gotten it all. You can
got the string fish.
Yeah. Well, no. Even if you didn't, which I did not, I didn't get it. That's one of the few things that I didn't get. The stringfish comes back in December. So in December, you can be completely done. You can be done with bugs and fish and have your Critterpedias complete if you've gotten it all. So I can't wait. I'm very excited to have those things closed out. And it's like a thing that I just have to do, and it's just kind of I gotta get it.
Is that just fish and bugs, or is that your sea creatures as well?
I didn't look at the sea creatures. I don't know. It is not. No, it's just fish and bugs. So I do not know. I do not know for sea creatures where they're at. There's a ton of stuff right now that came out. A bunch of crabs and a sea pig and a sea cucumber. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I know. I would chuckle too. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
You're just adding sea to animals.
That's right. Yeah, sea pigs and sea watermelons.
Sea horse.
Sea minced pies, whatever. I don't know. It's all out there. But no, there is a bunch of stuff for the sea that you can get right now. I'm going to be really interested to see what they do with pumpkins. If they die out in the winter, if they keep going. I have a little pumpkin patch in kind of in a little quiet area in my island. I plan to keep that going for as long as they allow, so I can see when it actually dies out. But it's November. We don't have an update yet. We won't have an update probably until our next podcast about 24 hours after it. If I, just taking a shot in the dark, but that's how this works. But what we do have right now is mushrooms. Is anybody collecting mushrooms?
I got some skinny ones.
Yeah.
That's all I found in my brief playthrough.
I've got flat ones, skinny ones, and rounded ones.
You got to dig in the ground too.
Yeah. So far, I only have the one DIY that Isabel shoots you a text for.
Yeah. I got a log, a mushroom log. I just, I don't know. It didn't come out the way it was supposed to. It's a legit log in the game, okay? I swear. So yeah, I got those two things, but no, the mushroom in the ground was a complete surprise to me. I would never have found it thanks to my daughter, who was like, "It's a star. You need to get the star." And I was like, "All right, I'll go dig up the stupid fossil that I don't
hang on
need."
A second. I've finished all the fossils.
yeah, exactly. But I was like, all right, I finished the fossils, but I'll go dig up this stupid starfish. So I go over there, I dig it up, and they're like, oh, you found a rare mushroom. And I'm like, what? I was like, whoa, that's so cool. I had no idea it was a thing. So that was fun.
Yeah, apparently the rarity thing for the mushrooms, I can't remember if we discussed it or if I read it somewhere else. If you've got a 5-star island, it's a 10% chance, because it's a 1% chance if you don't have a 5-star island that you'll spawn a rare mushroom. If you've got a 5-star island, that 1% goes to 10% chance.
I hate you in a loving kind of way, because my island is still in tatters from it is not near 5-star island anymore. I guarantee you, it's in but now you are gonna make me have to put this thing together and spend way too. I was gonna do it slowly, but no, not now. Now you've done it. Thanks.
Also, if you have a 5-star island and you have friends over, it's an even bigger chance that the next day it's an increased chance as well. So, yeah.
Well, fun stuff. All right. Well, that's what I'm doing tonight after we. Because it won't be 2 a.m. for me this time. So.
Well, I discovered something recently I know Nick is never going to get.
Oh.
One thing in Animal Crossing. There is a cutscene that plays after you have not played the game for, I think it's 30 days. It might be less than that. Where you have,
Sean says 1 month, I know.
Where you have Bedhead.
Oh, you have Bedhead?
And I think it unlocks that hairstyle, if I remember correctly. And I was like, this is the one thing Nick will never unlock. They just put it in there just to troll you, man.
That's true. I'll get it. Don't you worry. It won't be for probably another year, but I'll get it. I'll get there.
Yeah, Lindsay got exactly the same. She said it was really funny. Your character comes to the door and looks really disheveled and like hair everywhere, and it's like, oh, you finally are. And that's when you get cockroaches as well.
That's great.
That same point.
I had not read that or heard that anywhere. I'm in, and you're right. I'll get it, but it won't be for quite a while. That's for sure. That's for sure.
I felt pretty, like part of something special.
You're just part of a secret club there.
I unlocked a thing no one that plays this game's gonna get.
So what about pitfall seeds? Have you had some fun with pitfall seeds?
Me?
They came out of nowhere.
Found it. I have not found the recipe for pitfall seeds. My friends have had fun on me with it.
Pitfall seeds are great. You put 2 in front of your entrance, no matter what. That's what I say. Like right by the airport. You do. Yep, that's what you do. And if you really want to have fun, I didn't do this on mine, but you put 2 in front of the airport, and then you put a sign that says, "Do not dig these up." And then people just run past them, and then they fall in the hole. It's the greatest thing. Fun. Love it.
So I haven't got anybody with them. I haven't got any villagers. I kind of just got myself. Because if you get yourself, you get a Nook Mile stamp.
Yeah.
I thought,
But Andrew,
cool.
if you need it, if I bury one and you dig it up, you automatically learn the recipe.
Oh.
So
I didn't know that. I should have just been digging them up.
Yeah. If once you dig it up, that's like, oh yeah, and then you learn the recipe the first time. I don't know who did it for me, but that's how I got it. So
nice.
See, I got my recipe sent to me by a villager. It was in the mail from one of the villagers. So
that's one of the cool things about this game is how there's a million different ways to do everything, and I do always appreciate that. Did you guys get your King Tut mask by picking up a gold rock? Yeah, see, that's how I got mine. I just picked up this gold nugget, and my guy was like, wait, what? He's like, I just thought of a DIY. And I was like, I've never had that happen before, but okay. And I learned...
Oh, so you got a DIY for the...
Yeah.
And I thought you got the mask from a rock. I was like, didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, no, sorry. I should have been more specific. Yeah, no, I got the DIY from it when I picked up the nugget, and it was like, oh, yeah.
There must be lots of different triggers in the game that kind of... Right, you must have collected 30 or 40 golden nuggets and thought, there you go, that's the trigger point for that one. Because it's like when you were picking rubbish up when you were fishing and you got so much rubbish, you triggered the next DIY.
Yeah. It's like they're like, you know what, this poor son of a gun's never going to get this mask if we don't just give it to him. And he's picked up like a bazillion nuggets. So here, just have it. You poor sap. So there's new items in the game. Not new items, but new fish, new bugs, new sea critters. There's actually a ton of new. There's a lot of new fish returning, like blue marlins. The football fish is back, which is exciting. But ones that are actually new to the game, like haven't been in it yet since the opening, are the blowfish. The damselfly is the new bug. And then there is the snow Dungeness red crab. And again, I'll just say it again, the sea pig and the sea cucumber. Which, let me tell you, that pig can move. I'm just going to be honest with you. That is not... Pigs, I don't know if they can fly, but they can swim like nothing else. That's for sure. Like, have you guys been swimming at all yet? I mean, in November?
Not yet.
I haven't yet.
So,
it's cold. I don't want to go swimming in November.
I know, right? I'm totally with you, but I did it. I watched Netflix for like an hour and a half. I actually made more money than I think I've ever made in the Dropbox last night because I probably put about 100 plus items like creatures in the Dropbox. I made like 330,000 bells from the Dropbox the next morning. That's from creatures and also like decorations that I sold in there. So yeah.
I think I finally got the last spending stamp for the Nook Miles. So I spent 5 million on the island in total.
I don't know that I've gotten that.
Oh.
So I
have a ton, but I don't know I spend a lot.
I got that in the beginning of the game. This is before I discovered the world of the turnip market. I was in the fruit market of buying fruit because you can buy your native fruit from Nook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd go to someone else's island and sell all of that at premium price, and then buy all of that island's fruit and come back. I'd hop back and forth to make money, and I ended up buying $5 million worth of cherries.
That's pretty awesome. I have never heard of that as a way to make cash. It does make you some, right? What is it? 300? It's 300, right? And 500.
So you buy it for 100, sell it for 5.
Oh, really? Is it 100?
Wow.
I didn't realize it was that low. Oh, yeah, that is a good way to make some cash then. No, cool.
It's really not worth it because I think
It's got to take a while to go through the transaction. 40, like even if you fill your pocket.
Yeah, I was gonna say
times.
they still don't have. I'm not daydreaming. They don't have a way to buy multiple of one thing. Like so that's that.
Yeah, no,
it's not worth it. I'll just come out now and say that's not a good way to make money in this game.
It's not a quick way to make money, but you are like if you want to talk about figures, you every set of apples you sell, you're making 400% profit.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to make money.
I came in too logically and had zero fun doing it.
Yeah, I will say the last episode I talked about like I'm going to use all my Nook miles to buy paintings. Well, let me tell you, 200,000 Nook miles, they don't really go that far. Like not really. Like people want a gazillion of these things for a painting. And not only that, like, so our good friend Prosticles gave me like a steal of a deal, like almost too much. He was like, I'll give you all these for this amount. And I was like, well, that's too good. Here, how about this? But I haven't done it yet. And let me tell you why. Because if I make 30 of these Nook Mile tickets takes for freaking ever. Like I'm just sitting there like, I gotta press a button. Do I want it? Yep. Okay. And then it takes you all the way out and you got to go all the way back in and do another one. And I'm like, man, I was just like, every time I'm like, I don't really feel like I don't have the heart to go through this. So Frosticles, if you listen, that's why I haven't come to you. Not because I don't want them, but 30 Nook Mile tickets, like that takes a long time.
See, I think I watched a video and Bobby Pauls went along with that. Well, this is like, there's so many like changes they can make for comfort.
Oh, yeah.
Game. So like, yeah, they must have figured out by now that most of the people who play Animal Crossing want to buy. If they're going to buy something, they don't want it in ones. They don't want it in fives. We want it in hundreds. Give me 100 pumpkin starts.
Yeah.
I'll be back later.
Yeah.
So, because that was a bit that annoyed me. It was like then having to count and buying things in fives. I want 50 pumpkin starts, so I need to do this like 10 times. And then I miscounted and I ended up with 60.
Yeah, I almost wouldn't really mind so much if the dialogue maybe changed up.
Yeah.
Or something, but it's just so repetitive. You're just
it's never gonna, but yeah, I totally agree with you. As I tell many people who are like, there's just too much dialogue in this game. And I'm like, well, that's great. I agree. There's too much and it could be cut down. But when you're like, hey, Nintendo, you could cut this down. Nintendo's like, you're welcome for all the dialogue. Like it's two totally different opinions. Nintendo's like, look what we've done for you. You're like, take it all away. So it's just funny. So we did get a question from Nintendo Dad, OG Nintendo Dad, Laugher on Discord, Jesse. And he asks, think we'll get new information on upcoming events this week now that the content of last update has been exhausted. So we know there's going to be something. We know that. We saw Franklin, who, if you don't know, is the turkey guy from the Harvest Festival in previous Animal Crossing. So there's definitely something for this month for like the Thanksgiving, air quotes Thanksgiving. They call it Harvest Festival. When do we think Nintendo is going to drop that little nugget of news?
So it's Tuesday for me now. So we normally record Monday night for you, Tuesday morning for me. I've got to then edit it. I tend to get it to Jesse, who asked the question, for like Wednesday afternoon, come evening, which is like your Wednesday morning. So I can guarantee that by Wednesday afternoon, Eastern time, Nintendo will announce something. Because that's just how it always goes for us. We always talk about, this could happen and this could happen, and
yep.
all right,
it's true.
To see this. And then Nintendo go, Hey guys, here you go.
Yep.
It's going to be in that window, I think, actually, like for real, I think it's going to be in the window of the 16th to the 18th, just because that's about mid-month and it's the week before the Thanksgiving holiday. I don't think they're going to go earlier than that. I don't know, though. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll spare you guys some pain.
Hopefully, because that gives us a week to digest it.
I could see it being on the 12th. I could. They can't go much further. They can't go much further than the 16th to the 18th. I mean, because then you're like there. Like they want to drop that before, I would think, the week of Thanksgiving to give some lead-in time. So I could see it being the 12th, which is a good amount of lead-in time. But historically, yes, I could also see it being, I mean, legit, the swimming was the next day. Like we sat there and we were like, when do we think, what do we think? Here's what we think's going to happen. And then like I woke up and Nintendo had like dropped it by the time I woke up. I was like, oh my, you gotta be kidding me.
I remember that. I remember this episode just because I remember Sean was like dead asleep.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him virtually. My heart goes out to Sean. Get up again and record.
So yeah, they got to man, I really think it'll be, these things normally drop on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and it's either, funny for us, it's either going to be the 12th, which would be great, but historically it's probably going to be the 17th. It's probably going to be Tuesday the 17th. So yeah,
your solution is to make this a weekly cast. Just kidding.
Oh, boom.
So much with all your time, you know.
I am. If I think it went to a bi-weekly podcast just because of my shifts. If I didn't work a rotating shift pattern, we'd probably record more.
Yeah, it's probably true. It's your fault. That's my point. That's all I want to make sure everybody knows. Okay, good. We can
At least
move
you guys
on.
have a schedule over on Nintendopals. I just have been terrible. I just post. I feel like recording.
You're like, come on, guys, we're gonna do this now.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, guys. I think that's all the Animal Crossing we got. So we'll see when this fall update hits. Let's head over to the Dad Corner.
So over in Dad Corner this episode, I've chosen, with it being the holiday season coming up, I've chosen the term of snacks, and more snacks. So you can remember last episode we touched a little bit on kids and snacks and a few of our favorite ones. And at the beginning of the episode, we talked about mince pies. So we don't have to delve deep into that again because I've got 4 behind me, which I could absolutely devour. And it's nearly 20 past 1 in the morning. So my cholesterol wouldn't find me for that. But yeah, with Christmas looming and you guys over there, you've got Thanksgiving coming up. It's definitely the season for puddings, snacks, meals, like the works. So it's just like, I want to maybe discuss a couple of your favorite ones that like is a bit of a tradition to have. So yeah, I mean, like you messaged me about is it toasted pumpkin seeds today, Nick?
Yeah, that was so in our in our family we always do we gut the pumpkins and then we take the seeds and we toast them, which is something we always do. Just salt and pepper normally, throw them in the oven, and actually it's probably the healthiest thing that you can do on Halloween because it's quite it's kind of, there's a lot of fat in it, but it's also got a lot of protein. But because I looked at it and I thought, gosh, this is really too healthy. What can I do to totally screw it over? I took a bunch of sugar and cinnamon and just doused them with it and shoved them in the oven. So I did some with salt, some with sugar and cinnamon. When I pulled them out, they were fantastic. The sugar crystallizes over these pumpkin seeds, and when you pull them out, it pulls out in almost like a brittle. It's like pumpkin seed brittle. I mean, I have no idea how I did it. I suck at baking, just to be quite frank. But like you pull out, and it's just crispy and it's fantastic, and it was really good. Sugar, cinnamon, pumpkin seeds, loved it. So that's how you can ruin a healthy meal.
Yeah, it's not always good to never waste anything. I mean, we've got a full pumpkin that we were supposed to carve, but we never got round to carving for Halloween. So it kind of became a prop for photos earlier, but I think that might get turned into something like that.
You can also, I love Halloween and cooking, and it's just kind of something that this is a healthy meal. You make a stew, and then you have to like cook it separate for about 2 or 3 hours, and then you shove that stew in the pumpkin, like gut it and take out all the nastiness, and shove the pumpkin in the oven for like 3 hours. Okay, and when it's done, because pumpkin is basically squash. Like I don't know, in America we don't think of it that way. We're like, oh, butternut squash, spaghetti squash, those are great, but pumpkin is squash. And when it's all said and done, you carve the inside of the pumpkin in with the stew, and it really is super yummy, and it thickens the stew really well. These aren't snacks, these are like full meals now, but that's really good to do with it too. So
nice.
By you, Andrew, you got any holiday favorites?
So this time of year, I really love. We call them Buckeye balls.
Buckeyes, yeah.
They're peanut butter and powdered sugar balls dipped in chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a Reese's cup or a Reese cup that's just huge, and way more rich. As a kid, I remember eating them like popcorn. As an adult, I can eat like 2, and then I'm like, wow, my body is done. I can't handle it anymore. But they're still so good.
Well, kids have got as a kid, you've got 4 stomachs, so you can always you've got like main meal stomach, which is like the size of a pea, and then you've got 3 dessert stomachs, which are like never ending.
Yeah, they're the black hole. True.
Oh yeah, those Buckeyes are good though. That's what they're called up here. We just call them Buckeyes, and so
my family's made those kind of the Christmas. It's just the season, Thanksgiving, Christmas tradition. My mom makes the best dinner rolls ever. I don't even know how to describe them. It's basically just butter. that's what makes it good. Is it's soaked in butter, made with lots of butter in it, and then afterwards you put butter on it.
That's right. Yeah.
But those are really, really good. My wife and I have tried, and we've had a couple like times we've gotten close to the recipe, but I just can't quite get it the way my mom does. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's just part of the country where baking seems to change state to state where I've lived, where it's like, oh, you got to change the temperature a little bit. You got to add more of this ingredient or that ingredient to get it fluffy like you want. So
yeah, maybe it could do with the water as well. If you've got any water that's in the recipe, the hardness and the softness of the water can change.
Yeah. But I love the rolls. That's another like family tradition. We do I can't remember what the sweetbread, and it's just like an old family tradition. My great grandparents on my mom's side, right? They're from they immigrated to the States from Portugal, and it was like a big thing they did there, and we just kept that up. And so lots of bread, lots of carbs. I don't know how I'm still a skinny guy. I really don't. My parents really tried to make me a big kid, but it didn't work.
Yeah. So like it gets to this time of year, and like through the summer and summer months and stuff like that, me and Lindsay, we tend to go very Greek. So we'll have lots of like grilled chicken, lots of Mediterranean salads and stuff like that. And then it's like suddenly somewhere in October, somebody just does that and clicks their fingers, and it's like, right, okay, tonight I want like a really hearty beef stew with dumplings, which is like suet and pastry mixed together, and Yorkshire puddings, which is basically just pancakes in a muffin tin. But I don't know why we call them Yorkshire pudding. Oh yeah. And that's how we start, because we don't have, like, you guys have Thanksgiving, so you've got all like the Thanksgiving sweets and treats to go. Because if somebody ever mentions, like, ask me what my version of Thanksgiving is, it's like a pre-Christmas dinner, but then you like have pecan pie and lots of other like autumn fall style meals ingredients that you guys use.
Yeah, I mean it's
fixins. That's what we call them over here, is fixins.
It is essentially just a second Christmas dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Except the focus, the main meat at Christmas for us is usually ham.
Oh, really?
And Thanksgiving is turkey. Just that's kind of the thing. Thanksgiving is associated with turkey. Well, but I guess we do ham sometimes for that as a side. A ham as a side dish.
That's us. That's what we do. It's turkey, and then there's a little bit of ham, because there's a couple people in the family that don't like ham. But really, for me, it's like I take this small little piece of turkey. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's nothing. Like, there's nothing there. And then I take, like, mashed potatoes, and then there's sweet potatoes, which are, like, a sad story for sweet potatoes, because it's, like, smothered with, like, the marshmallow topping and mixed with, like, a ton of sugar and cinnamon and butter and all kinds of horribleness.
Yeah, it's a sweet potato.
Yeah,
you gotta emphasize the sweet.
Yeah. And then there's the corn casserole, and then there's the green beans that are barely green beans because they're like bacon, basically, with like a green bean somewhere hidden in there. And it's just like utterly ridiculous. And you eat this entire plate of food. Oh, and there's always biscuits, right? There's like a roll too, because God forbid there's not enough carbs on that plate already. So you've got to have a roll to like wash it all down. And then you eat all this, and then you just like pass out watching football on TV. Welcome to American Thanksgiving. That's how. Welcome to my Thanksgiving, at least. That's right there.
That sounds about right. That's about what we had growing up.
So you're so jealous. It's like now between Halloween, we've got to like make all the Halloween candy, which, given the current situation, the only stuff we've got is what we bought, which isn't much because cavities and kids just don't go. So like I've got to wait till Christmas, and then like we have like the stuff that we have at Christmas. Like, I don't know if you know the term of pigs in blankets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what is it for you? Because I've learned that sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I know, and then I realize halfway through we are not talking about the same thing.
It's a tiny little sausage wrapped up in bacon.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes we do croissant rolls, so like that can also be a pig in a blanket. But yeah, I've seen bacon too. So.
Hey, I'll take anything wrapped in bacon.
Amen to that.
What was it? Do you ever watch the Epic Mealtime guys? I know they're quite old.
Yeah, that's us older guys. Yeah. Always bacon. Can't go without bacon.
The Baconator. But yeah, it's all about like I said, it's all about the mince pies. It is all about the stodgy sweet treats for me at this time of year. So I just literally I turn into a hibernating bear. I can't stop myself. It's like Lindsay will bring home mince pies, and I'll like say to myself, oh, they're really nice. I'm going to make them last. The last box she bought, I ate within 4 hours of them being in the house.
Yeah,
there were six, and they're of a good size. They're like the size of the headphones. They're a good little size, really deep, and I ate all 6 in 4 hours.
Yeah, we talked about this in the last episode. I black out when there's food in the house like that, and it's just like gone. Like we were talking about the candy, which there isn't a lot of candy in our house now because we didn't really do much trick-or-treating. And so I'm really blessed for that. But like when there is, or like the thing is, so there's not candy, my wife's like, well, I'm going to make all this pumpkin stuff. So she makes these like this pumpkin oatmeal bake and these pumpkin like pancake bake and these pumpkin cookies. Those pumpkin cookies, my son today comes in and he's like, why is there only 2 cookies left? Like, didn't mom just make these? I was like, listen, you just shush. And you're going to get one, and your sister's going to get one, and y'all got your cookie, and I had the other dozen. So let's just be quiet about it and eat your cookie. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
I say I did that on Saturday night. after we'd done all the Halloweeny bits and pieces, because like there was only me, the wife, and the youngest kid, Logan, and like he was in bed by 7 o'clock. So we arranged to go for a bit of a date night, and I'm pretty glad we did now, because ahead of like everything shutting down next week for UK, it's like going to be the last time probably before Christmas we got to do anything. We went to a really nice restaurant called the Burrow, and it's an Italian restaurant. It's like the most amazing lamb and scallops and everything like that. So we had an amazing meal and came home and like had a couple of drinks at home. But like earlier on in the day, my daughter's mum, because Lindsay is my daughter's stepmom, had bought too many Halloween cupcake boxes from a lady on the estate. And she brought them round, and I was like, oh, ace. The kids will be able to have those in a couple of days. I woke up the next morning, there was 2 left. And Lindsay came down, she's like, where's all the biscuits? And like they were all Halloween themed. Like there was 2 cookies, like a cookie folded over to make teeth and stuff. And she was like, okay, yeah. Where have they all gone? And I'm there like, I must have eaten. Knowing full well that every time I came down to get us a drink from the kitchen, I was eating like a sweet. It was unreal.
Yeah,
I don't know why I did it.
Yeah, I'm there with you, man. I know that. I mean, COVID for us will tamp down on how much I eat. A little, not a lot, but a little. In the sense that like there is no, so like normally for Thanksgiving in November, starting like for second week in November, there's a church Thanksgiving. Then there's like the friends Thanksgiving. And then there's the family Thanksgiving, which luckily most of our family comes together, so there's usually only one. But sometimes there's another family Thanksgiving. And so like by the time you're done, you're like, oh my, I've ate like a field's worth of pumpkin pie. Like it's ridiculous. So with COVID, there's no church, there's no friends Thanksgiving. We just got like a family. So that that'll help. That'll help a little bit. So
yeah, I don't experience the food blackouts. I consciously, eat tons of crap. My daughter right now is, she's just gotten to the point where she just can communicate a little bit through pointing at things and bringing us stuff that she wants. And that girl eats and eats. I had out the Halloween candy yesterday, and she just kept coming back. And just pointing, she pull it out and like, I want more. And then I'm like, where did it go? I just gave you a bag of M&Ms. It's gone. Just inhaling everything. And so we have to hide it because otherwise she'll keep bringing it to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and she's starting to get the little bit of attitude. She stomps. Like starts stomping her feet. I mean, she's only 1. She can't like talk yet, and she's stomping her feet when we don't give her what she wants. Like, man, we're gonna be eating out of house and board by all these kids.
Yeah. So that's Thanksgiving. And then at Christmas, my mom does the 12 cookies of Christmas. This is my favorite thing and like my least favorite thing, all wrapped up into one, because she does these 12 different cookies for Christmas, and she chooses them, and it's a big thing. And she's like, which one? And I'm always like, which one are you doing? She knows I love it. She makes a crud ton of cookies. Like there's this like patio sized table on her enclosed porch. And when it's done, it is mounded with like 12 different types of cookies. And every time I go over there, I have to make sure that each one of them tastes good. And I eat so many gosh forsaken cookies. By the time Christmas comes, it's ridiculous. Like I cannot stay out of them. Like every time I'm like, well, I guess I'll just have that one and that one. And by the end of the night, I've probably sampled almost all 12. That's my confessional right there.
For me, it's dad tax.
That's
what? My favorite one.
Dad tax. Yep.
Yeah. So like,
I couldn't go trick or treating this year, so I'm taxing my children.
Logan comes to me, and his favorite thing is he's really polite, bless him. He goes, "Please, can I have something?" And he's like, that's when he wants a snack or he wants some sweets. So like, I'll say, yeah, come along, and like I'll put him his little sweets in a bowl, and I'll say, and that one's for Daddy, and he's like, well, it's mine. So Dad tax. To learn that one. That one, you can have 12. I'll have one. Then you're paying tax.
You have to get excited to become a dad at some point. Like, here's the benefits. You get all this.
That's right. That's right.
Tax.
But my Emily, the 8-year-old, she's now questioning it. She's like, "What's dad tax?" I said, "Well, it's just what you've got to give me when you have sweets." But I don't want to give you anything. So, well, I don't want to give the tax man a third of my wage, but I do.
You've justified taxes. Good job.
Yeah, you'll have to come up at the next election, which you can't vote yet because you're not 18. So then you can renegotiate the dad tax contract.
That's right. Do you guys have Lunchables? Yeah. This is the only place I've ever used the dad tax. Do you guys have Lunchables over there in the UK?
Yeah, they're like the little plastic tub with you either have a cracker, cheese.
Yeah.
You use the dad tax on a Lunchable? A full Lunchable is a dad tax at my house. It's like 3 crackers.
In those things, there are two Oreo cookies in the ones that we buy. And so, like, I'll be like, here you go. And I'll open it up, and I will take the cookies out, and I'll be like, if you're good, you can have one of these. Because one's already mine.
But yeah, snacks are the most negotiable item with toddlers and kids ever. It's amazing. Like, Logan can be sat there, and he'll be like, I don't want to eat my cucumber. I don't want to eat my vegetables. He says, well, if you want sweets, you need to eat these greens. And he'll be like, but I don't want them. Do you want sweets? Yes. So eat your vegetables. I don't want them. You don't get the sweets then. And then suddenly the vegetables are gone, and he's there with cheeks like this. Not chewing the vegetables, they're just in his mouth.
Yeah. My wife's the same way. She's like, my daughter will be like, I'm full. I don't want to eat anything. She's like, do you want to eat some ice cream? Yeah. Oh, well, then you're not full. Keep going. Like, someday it's not going to work anymore. But right now, it works every time. I'm like, how do you not see this? You're 4. You should be able to figure this out by now. She does it every time.
12 to 13 years old. That's when it changes.
Oh, wow. We got a long time. We're good.
Yeah, that's when I noticed Jaya kind of like, we'd sit around and we'll have like a Sunday meal together, and like she'll sit and she'll not quite finish it all. And I'll say to her, are you all right, Jaya? Do you want... Like, if you're done, that's fine. And at like 12, she'd be like, oh, no, I'll finish it because I want a pudding. And like, but now at 14, she's like, oh, no, I don't want, I'm done. So, do you want some dessert then? She's like, no, I'm done. Thanks. It's like, oh my God.
What just happened?
The dessert stomach has shrunk.
She's maturing.
It's true.
Yeah. Anything else, guys?
No, if we carry on talking, I am literally going to start eating. I'm getting hungry again now. So it's like the last time I ate was about 4 hours ago, so I'm definitely due some food.
All right, then. Let's see if anyone has left us a notice on our bulletin board.
So, before we start the Village's bulletin board, as always, we want to thank you all the Patreon members of the Nintendo Dads. That's you, Andrew. Thank you very much for hanging with us on Discord. You are all seriously the best community on the internet, and we love you. And if you're listening to this and you would like to catch up with the 2 of us, plus a whole bunch of other Animal Crossing fans, Nintendo Dad fans, all of us are all there. You can join in on the action for as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. And our first question is quite an interesting one to try and read out and keep it clean. But that's from Drew over at the Dads After Dark. And he says, my 4-year-old likes to wipe his own rear, but I'm concerned he might not get it all. Do I let him be independent and risk dingleberries? Or do I step in and help him wipe his bum?
And we did some censoring on that. It was more Dads After Dark when Drew did it. We love our brother from another mother cast. I don't know. Anyways, but so we censored that for the fams here. First off, I have to agree with whoever said it, and I don't remember who. I'm sorry. Okay, your 4-year-old does not have hair on his or her bum, so there cannot be dingleberries there. I mean, you cannot have a dingleberry if there's nothing to grab to.
It's It's not a dingleberry. It's a dingle jam.
Yes, that is right. Yeah. What you're gonna
That's
have?
what I'm afraid of, man.
Yeah. What you're gonna have is some serious streaking, and not like the take off your clothes kind. You're gonna have some smearing going on in the underpaint.
The only thing I can say is, would you let your 4-year-old try and wipe out the inside of a Nutella jar? No.
I don't even know where to go with that, Sean. I'm sorry. I don't even know.
It just goes everywhere. That's my euphemism for like anything to do with number twos is like I wouldn't let Logan wipe the inside of a Nutella jar.
Why do we have to bring Nutella into this, man? Now the Nutella is ruined.
You just ruined it.
No, but it's the same consistency. Come on, let's just go with the consistency.
Okay, that's true. I'll give you that. There's something there. Yeah.
So I wouldn't trust him to use tissue paper to clean the inside of a Nutella jar properly, because as much as he tried, he would never be able to do it properly. He's free next month, like literally the 15th of November. This month, 15th of November, he is free. And I will still be employing shout me when you're done. I will be coming to wipe it for you, because he wants to try. At 3 years old, he keeps asking to get the tissue and try. And like the couple of times I've kind of let him go with it, I'm like, you're not ready.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So like, to be serious about it, you do got to employ the yell when you're done, and I'll help you. But what we did with both of our kids was like, all right, you're done. Great. Try to get this done. And then it's like they take like a tissue and don't really do anything. A piece of toilet paper barely wipes anything. They see a little brown on there and they're like, yeah, look what I did. And you're like, all right, yeah, let me know. Now let me really do this. So, and then you got to finish it up. But if you don't, like, we've all had the kids that like one time or two, like go to the bathroom, don't tell you, pull up the pants. And then like they get ready to go to bed, they pull them down. And you're like, wow, that's some underwear right there. What have you done? What have you done to those things? But there will not be dingleberries. No dingleberries for a 4-year-old.
I mean,
I definitely take the let him try approach. But my kid doesn't do just a single wipe. I went up there and I am so surprised. Half the roll is in the toilet.
Oh, there's that. Yeah. There's that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, my son does not. My son's 3, and he does not yell for me when he's ready. He comes out and it has us check. And I don't know how this happened, how this started, but
It's like the penguin waddle because his pants are down by his ankle.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've told him, like, just call for me. I mean, it's not that far from the bathroom. Like, just call for me. I'll come wipe you. You don't have to. No, he comes out and he goes, hey, did I do a good job?
He's like bending over.
Yeah.
You're like making supper.
There's just things you just didn't really expect would happen to you in your life until you have a kid. All right.
You see, Logan's totally different, bless him. He's really cool with it. He's like, he'll come down to and say, I need the toilet. So, okay, cool. I'll come with you, because like he's got a little like ladder that he gets so he can get onto the toilet properly and stuff. So like, just watch him to make sure he doesn't fall in or fall off that. And then like he'll sit there and he'll either say one of two things, and it'll be, you go and I'll shout you when I'm ready, or he'll literally just say, big rocks are coming. And it's like, okay, I'll leave you to it. Shout me when you're done. And like, he shouts me to shut the door behind me. And then like literally 5-10 minutes later, Daddy, I'm done. And then like,
your kid
is pretty good with that.
Yeah, Logan's better at privacy than my daughter is. I can tell you that. My daughter cares not if the door's open or closed. In fact, we had company over, and she was like, "Hey guys!" And she has like they're both girls, like they're both in there, like hanging out with her while she's like taking a dump. And I'm like, Ariel, I was like, no, this is not how this works. You two need to go, and you just go to the bathroom by yourself. She's like, we were just talking. No.
See, Logan only ever has privacy when it's him needing the toilet. I could be sat and he'll literally be swinging on the door, like door handle swinging, and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
the door's locked, you're not getting in. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
I want to see you. And it's like, no.
Yeah, no privacy for dads. That's for sure. Like you gotta lock it down to get anytime. Otherwise, it doesn't matter what either one of the kids are doing. If I go to the bathroom, then immediately they need something. Like they're like, "Hey, can we do this?" And they're like yelling from them, like, "No, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Find something to do."
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. My son is a little more upfront with what happens. He just says, "Dad, I made a big green nasty poop."
He's like naming it.
I'm like, oh, all right.
The green monster's out, Dad.
See, it's good though. You need to know these bits of information, because if it's not big and green and it's runny and black, then
I mean, so this might be TMI for this show, but we went to Disney. It's been a bit, but they had their special Halloween snacks out, and one of those was this bright purple ice cream, and we had that. And the next day,
see where this is going.
Next day, it took my son to use the restroom at the park, and he goes, "Dad, this is blue." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, is this?" And I'm like, I have to like go back and you have to, what did we eat? What did we eat? Should I be concerned? Medical? Oh yeah, it's the purple ice cream.
That's awesome. You're like, congratulations, son. Love it.
I'm a child. I'm a child raising a child. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, that's what we all are. So no problem. No problem there. So what's the next one, Sean? I think we've talked about poop enough. Well, maybe not, but let's move on anyways.
So enough number twos and on to number two. This one's from Frosticles. He says, with there being sporting items in the game, so I think we're going back to Animal Crossing, are there any sports not included that you'd like to see so you can recreate a pitch, field, or whatever it's called? For him, it's stuff like baseball diamonds for some backyard baseball, or a hockey rink and hockey rink sticks, and a puck to recreate some NHL 94.
So
I'm going to say I can't answer any of those because there's not really, I don't like sports involving balls. All my sports involve tires and motors. So,
well, there is that too. There is that though too, right? I mean, there's not a lot of racing stuff. But I agree. I didn't think about it until he said it. But it's true. It is crazy to me that there's not more, and I'm looking it up right now just to make sure I'm right, that there's not more baseball items. Like
no, there's a football. There's a football net.
Mm-hmm.
There's volleyball net. Obviously, basketball and basketball net. You can get racing suits because I bought one today, so you can dress up like a racing driver with a helmet,
and you can dress up like a baseball player too. There's a full baseball uniform.
Yeah.
But there's no equipment with that or any like outdoor or indoor decor.
No. Yeah. So the only thing you have got for making an hockey rink is probably the create a designer tool.
Yeah, like I did with my soccer field.
Yeah, that you've now destroyed.
Or a football field. I'm sorry. A football field. I'm sorry.
I wonder if that will come with some seasonal stuff for winter.
That would be cool.
That would kind of make sense.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that with the coming of winter, we might be able to have like a frozen lake option. So you have your running water for your rivers, but your lakes that you've made, it'd be nice to see them freeze over.
That's really a good idea. Yeah, I could see that.
Because you'd employ the ice skates.
Yeah, I was going to say skating. That would be super fun.
That would be.
I was going to say maybe not along the lines of like a sport, ball sport, but it would be cool to have some more like interactable items like bikes. And I know they've got the like rock wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so maybe this is just in general for all all these things, the ones that exist and the ones don't, more interaction with those items besides.
Yeah, you can. There's like the little electric scooter. You can literally turn the light on and off. The bicycle just makes a bell noise, I believe, or does it might not even do anything because Nick sent me one very early on.
Yeah, that seems like it should be like a chair that you can sit in or something along those lines. Yeah, but like the ball, I think would be cool if you could like kick it around, kind of deal, even if it didn't really do anything.
You can bounce it, but that's it.
Yeah.
The bummer is that's a step back because there used to be a ball that would appear in older Animal Crossings that you could like just kick around. Like you couldn't do much with it, but you could kick it around. And it'd get like, you'd lose it every once in a while. And it would just like, it wasn't when you bought, it would just like all of a sudden just appear on your island. You kick it around a little bit until you lost it usually in the river or something. And then it would just like go away. So that is a bummer that they didn't bring that back in some way. Interactivity with Animal Crossing, I think, is the next. I don't think you'll see it in New Horizons, but if I was going to say what's the next step in Animal Crossing, I would say interactivity, a much deeper interactivity with items is the next step, where you can like put down the basketball and pick it up and maybe enter into like a 2-player game or something like that. I mean, that to me is like the next leap forward that I would love to see with Animal Crossing. That would make multiplayer just so fresh. And so instead of just like, well, I'm going to go to this island, I'm going to look and see what they have that I don't have. And then maybe we can, and I mean, people, including Nintendo Guru, has done an amazing job to come up with games to play, like out of just creativity. But like even take the color wheel. Like we tried to do the color wheel and do this fun like Animal Crossing. Yeah, it's so broken. Like do this fun Animal Crossing Olympics. But when you spin the color wheel, everybody sees it land on a different color. I mean, come on. Like yeah, there's so much stuff there that needs work. And that's, I guess, what I would say is I agree with you. Interactivity is the next thing that needs a step forward in the game.
Totally agree.
Yeah. And that's starting that we only got 2 questions this week. One of them is obviously a doozy, and the other one is
a doozy is what I think you call that.
Doozy.
I'm sorry, that was horrible.
Yeah. Speaking of deuce, but there's nothing on there about tennis. There's no tennis related equipment as well.
You're right. There's not.
Yeah. Which seems weird. Nintendo loves tennis.
I know.
Yeah.
They promote Mario Tennis more than they promote some.
I shouldn't say this.
I was going to say they promote Mario Tennis more than they promote good games. But Mario Tennis is a good game. Mario Tennis is a good game.
It became a good game. It just will never live down what it was when it first came out, I think. So, but it did become a good game, but it wasn't when it came out. They do have like tennis outfits. They have outfits for almost, well, I don't want to say every sport, but for most sports. They have
no
outfits.
Baseball mask, the catcher's mask.
Yeah, there's no catcher's mask, which is really surprising to me.
That seems like something they should have for sure.
Yeah, they have the baseball outfit.
They have a fencing mask, a paintball mask.
A fencing mask?
I'm sure I've seen a fencing one, just with the black front.
I don't know if they do. It's not coming up on my Animal Crossing app if they do have it.
I could be wrong then.
Somebody just actually, Sean. We'll figure it out.
No, I feel like I've seen one, but yeah.
Yeah, if they do, it's not coming up on here, but that doesn't mean they don't have it. Yeah. There you go.
It was on New Leaf. I do apologize.
New Leaf had it. Well, maybe we'll get it at some point.
See, there's the fatal flaw with Nick's going, this is the next step for Animal Crossing. It seems like this game dropped a lot of features but it did add some new stuff, but it really simplified what New Leaf had. New Leaf had a lot in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if next time, we're not even going to have, it's just, you're just going to have a house. You just have a house. They've had that home designer. That was all that was.
Yeah, that's already it.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes the series doesn't feel like it progresses as fast as I think it could.
Yeah. Now remember, New Leaf got a major update 3 years in. with Harv stuff and all that. And so, we may see that major update. I don't know that we will, but we may see something like that.
I don't think it's going to take much along the lines of power to do it. It's just the animation, which, like I say, if they slowly drip it in, like the swimming animation, I would never have thought that we'd see the characters doing like flips into the water. I never thought that's something Animal Crossing would do as an animation. So that sort of stuff could be coming soon.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do with it because, New Leaf got so much DLC, and this game's gotten a ton of support post-launch. So I don't know. Is it? You guys would probably know this better than I, but is the game going to be getting support beyond like the year mark?
They have not said. They have not said for sure what they're going to do after a year. We're getting a year of free updates. That's the quote from Nintendo. So what happens after a year? And the big year finale has already been revealed as, I don't want to say, but I'm pretty sure the big year finale has been revealed as Mario items on March 10th. And I bet we may get one last final push, but that's only 10 days before a year's up for Animal Crossing. So I bet that's the final push for Mario, or for Animal Crossing is Mario items, which is what a lot of people just really want. Anyway, so that makes sense. But haven't heard past that what they're doing.
Cool. So I think I said it last time, which is why we got Andrew here. But if anyone from our awesome community would like to join us for an episode, feel free to drop us a message, and we'll see how we can work something out. And it's been great to have you on, Andrew, with us. So it'd be good to have other people's aspects of number twos and pies and everything. It's been pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to come on to talk about poop.
There you go.
Can't get better than that.
And I will say, just in case you're interested in coming on, but you're like, I've never done podcast, or I don't think I can really do it. We can usually make it work out with whatever you got. So just give us a shout, and we're glad to do a test with you or whatever. If you're not sure if you can make it happen, we'll figure it out.
Frosticles sits in his car and uses his phone. So, and he sounds pretty, the audio sounds awesome. So,
What kind of phone does Frosticles have? His audio sounds good.
He's going to start doing commercials for whatever brand it is.
Yeah, a lot of phone mics nowadays are like super, super good. So I mean, if you got a decent phone, you can typically cast with that.
Didn't Blurpy do it from his phone as well when we had him on?
I'm not sure. Probably though, because I think he was out driving.
Yeah.
So probably. Well, all right, guys, let's move on to the gaming topic of the show. All right, gaming topic of the show. If you don't know, what was it? Later this last week, on Wednesday, I think it was, or Tuesday.
Yeah, we had a showcase, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a partner showcase, which one of the things that they showcased was Control, one of IGN's Game of the Year, and Hitman 3 coming to the Switch via Cloud Play.
So
now, I'll tell you,
coming to the Switch.
Well, it's coming to the Switch. Maybe not everybody's Switch, but it's coming to the Switch via cloud gaming. Now, I'll tell you, when I saw this, I was thrilled. I've never played Control. Always wanted to. Thought it would be cool. So, I was all cool. I grabbed my phone. I'm, typing. I'm like, hey, Control's coming. I mean, I knew there were, some ifs and, some disclaimers that needed to be worked out and if it would work and blah, blah. But I was like, Control's coming. That's really cool. And I was, about to hit, send. And I looked up and there were already, 5, messages bah, there's a cloud gaming sucks. Cloud gaming. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I see I'm not on the side with everybody, so I just was put my phone down and I was like, I'm just gonna celebrate by myself for right now. So what do you guys think about the fact? Well, first off, tell me, does it work for each of us? So Sean, does cloud gaming work for you?
My internet struggles to do this. So, no, not at all. I literally, like, right now the laptop is using my mobile phone as a hotspot because for whatever reason, I've lived on this estate for 6 years, and every year BT promise, oh, yeah, well, fibre will be connected later on this year. You'll be absolutely fine. No, it's never happened. So I literally, the max I get is about 8 megabytes a second. So, no.
So not an option for you.
No. So upload is even worse as well. So download's like 8.5 megasecond max. Upload's about half a meg a second. So everything, any upload or download, especially because like we do photography on the side, and then there's this, and like there's a few bits and pieces for the Nintendo Days I've done. My internet sucks, big time.
Gotcha.
It's what's holding me back from, because I want to do streaming on Twitch and stuff like that when I'm playing video games. So it's what's holding me back for doing a lot of that.
Gotcha.
So cloud gaming wouldn't work for me. It would if I had faster, better internet, and I probably would get into it. Control looked like a fun game. Hitman, I'm a fan of the franchise. I've not really played them all because I get too excited and go all guns blazing and don't ever become a stealth assassin. But it'd be interesting to be able to play it handheld on the Switch wherever we go, because it's one of them games that takes quite a bit of time to play. So you can't always, we've only got one TV in the house, so I can't always take that over for a while. So yeah, it would work if I had better internet. It's not going to work for me now. I'm jealous of people with decent internet.
Gotcha. So what about you, Andrew? Does it work for you?
So I have not tested it. I have not tried any cloud-based gaming services or games. I mean, this is really the first one for Switch, right?
In our neck of the woods, yes.
Yeah,
I believe
they did try the Assassin's Creed trial run in Japan. I remember
and
that.
Resident Evil 7, I think. Some Resident Evil game also in Japan, I believe.
So I was going to download the demo of Control. So me personally, I've had no interest in playing that game. I had not heard of it before the Game of the Year awards. So I was like, what is this? Mm-hmm. I'm a Nintendo only console owner, so I don't see a lot of the news and stuff that goes out for other games. I think it's cool tech, and I definitely my internet can definitely run it. So I'm excited to see games maybe that I'm more interested in coming over that way. But I don't know. I'm on the fence because it definitely is a segmented market. Based off how many people have good enough internet to do it. And maybe it's just among the groups I know. I have lived in a lot of rural areas, where a lot of my friends and family live. But their internet would definitely not support this kind of service. Our home is newly built. We've got fiber internet. So it's fast and it's good for this kind of stuff, but not everybody has that. So it's kind of a bummer for those that would like to play it on the Switch. Because honestly, if everything just starts streaming to the Switch, there is absolutely zero reason for me personally to get any other system.
Yeah.
I already was like only a Nintendo user, but you know, there are games that have come out that have been like, oh, I'd like to try that out. I don't know. One that came to my mind was the Kingdom Hearts sequel. Oh, yeah. They were like, oh, that will never come to Switch. Mm-hmm. That could be streamed to the Switch. And the audience is there because it's very family friendly.
Right. Yeah.
Seems like a good merge.
Mm-hmm.
But games like Control, especially games like Hitman, are ones that are after the kids go to bed kind of games.
For sure.
And so I don't know. I just haven't tried it.
Yeah, I gotcha. So I was interested in Control. I mean, I listen to Game Scoop on a regular basis, and so that's kind of where I heard about it. And that's an IGN podcast, up and comer. Probably never heard of it. And I downloaded the demo right away because we could definitely, we have the ability to get internet that could work, but we sit at a 30 megabyte per second plan, just for finance reasons. Saves us some money. It's worked just fine for streaming. Didn't have a reason really to have any more, so I was like, whatever. And so that's what I've been doing. So I really didn't expect it to work. I was like, this isn't going to be successful. But no, I never even tried the performance version. There's two versions. You can try the enhanced, like, just run better version, or you can try the graphics better version. And so I was like, I don't really care how it looks. I mean, I'm already playing Nintendo games, so I don't really, but man, in the enhanced, like, performance version, like, so the graphics were dumbed down, I guess, it worked just fine. I was amazed how it ran. And I mean, it was as I said on Discord, is the best looking game I've played on the Switch by far.
It's the performance version, like not the graphically enhanced version. Yeah. You said it looked really good still.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it looked great. And so I was surprised that 30 megabytes per second could run it. Now, would it run it right now? Like when I'm streaming and maybe I'm on Zoom and maybe like my wife is streaming something? I don't know. I would need to try that to see if it would work. But I was really interested that Nintendo was getting into this. I mean, it's not surprising, I guess. Well, it is surprising and it isn't. And I was kind of surprised, somewhat, not a ton, that the hate that seemed to come from it, like even from our Discord, I was like, I mean, I get it, not everybody can run it. The lines is probably so apparently I have not experienced this when I've played it so far, and I don't know if it's a regional thing, like how many servers there are per your region, but apparently people are getting queues to be able to even play the game. That's probably the thing that I find the most disconcerting about it. Like, I don't mind paying $40 for a game that I won't own. I'm fine with that. I pay for crud I don't own every month, every single month, from Netflix to Apple TV to you name it. I pay for stuff I don't own. But the fact that now I don't own it, and now I may not be able to play it when I want to because I might be in a queue line. Like, I've seen queue lines like, you're 1,100th from being able to get in the server. That's probably the biggest issue with me. If I want to play the game after I bought it, then I should be able to just play the game. Like that's my biggest issue with it.
So it's not a subscription service?
No.
It's per game as of right now.
Yeah.
Wow. See, now that no. I don't mind. I paid 40.
Well, thanks for coming and listening to the Nintendo Dads today.
I paid £45 for Pikmin, and I know for a fact that if I absolutely hammer it and they don't do any DLC or any further content for that game, that I know for a fact I can take that physical copy, I can walk into game, and I'll probably get about £30 to £35 in-store credit, because for whatever reason those Nintendo carts hold their money. You take a disc for Xbox or PlayStation and it depreciates like nothing. The carts seem to be holding the money really, really well. Mm-hmm. So that's how I operate. Is I buy a game physical if I know it's one I've not played. But if I like Pikmin for one. Mario Rabbids was another one. Knowing that if I ain't going to play it anymore, I can take it and trade it in and put it towards my next purchase. Control isn't one of those games where I'd have probably picked up looking at it. It looks pretty cool, and it's one of them that if I played it, I probably would enjoy it, but it's not one of those. I'm very particular when it comes to picking a game. And
sure.
It's one of them where...
Well, we only got so much time, so I get it.
Yeah. Which I've probably missed quite a lot of good games, and when listening to the Nintendo Dads, I bought more games listening to them than I ever had before.
It's a curse.
It is, yeah. My wallet screams. But paying $40 for a game that I can play as much as I like, but it's not mine. And when I finished it, it just sits out there in the never-ending internet, and it's kind of like, well, if it was a streaming service, I'd happily pay £6 a month. Like Game Pass, I paid $11.99 a month for that, and there's a lot of games on there that I won't play. There's a lot of games on there I have played in the past and paid money for, but I'll re-download them and play them again and again and again. That I'd be more happy to do. If Nintendo included this cloud server in and upped their price by £6 a month, and we were getting pretty high-end like console games coming to it, so like Hitman, Switch, I reckon the next Skyrim could possibly be something that comes through a cloud service.
Be cool.
Doom Eternal, if that does come to the Switch, that could be a cloud game. I can see that happening because they're in, like Microsoft are in with Bethesda, so they're not going to want to see it as a full part. They're probably quite happy loaning that out to Nintendo as a cloud-based game because Nintendo are going to probably pay for the rights to use those games. I'd pay an extra £6 a month. Like I'd pay £6 a month on top of my yearly subscription for that. But £40 up front for it's one of them where it's like money and time are a very limited source for me sometimes, and I'd be like, no, that's too much. I'd have to walk away from that.
It's also out there that the demo for it, I think they missed an opportunity with by making it so short. They made the demo 5 minutes, and a lot of that's going to be cut scenes for the introduction of the game. And so you don't really get to see the performance when it comes to like the combat. And I mean, it's a shooter, controls a shooter, like a third-person shooter.
Yeah.
And if there's lag, you're not going to get to really experience the game in its fullest in the first 5 minutes. I kind of wish they'd done it more off of like a chunk of how far you can get into the game. Or maybe just a longer time limit would solve that problem so that people can really get a feel for, do I like this streaming thing? I think it is very cool technology, and it's kind of silly to write it off completely as like, oh, this isn't good. I don't like cloud gaming because of this reason or that reason. Because I think that it opens a lot of doors, but I also think the tech's not quite there yet. We don't have the infrastructure internet-wise for enough people because it's going to segment the market. Like that's just a guarantee. Not everybody's going to be able to use it.
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, I think I know more people that have got fibre broadband and up to speeds of 50, 60 megabytes a second in the UK than there is with like the likes of myself. I mean, I live the house was built in 2014. I've got fibre to the cabinet from the house. It's there. It's just not connected. So I'm like, the cabinet is where the issue is. It's not up to the house. The house is all fibre right up to the front of the house. It's just because the estate's been a constant development for the last 6 years. BT won't make that final connection until the estate's finished and the builder pays for that connection, which they've had a legal battle with one of the tenants of a house that's just off the estate to do with access. And so that's what stopped them for 2 years.
I did a little bit of research on it, and it's projected that the US is going to get something like 40% of households up to fiber optics, but that's not till 2025. Like that's projected, and that's only 40%. I know there's a lot more rural space, but it's just like with those kind of stats, it's just the infrastructure is not there to support this kind of service quite yet. Because it's not like Netflix or these other streaming services where you can sit and download something. It's like an interactive experience that has to be like constantly connected to work, or it won't work very well. So I don't know. Like, I think it's cool tech, and I really want it to become like the future of I don't want cartridges and physical game purchases to ever go away. I think that's cool, but I'd like to see where this technology goes in the future. But it just doesn't feel like the infrastructure is quite there on the global scale. It is for me, so I can enjoy it now.
So I will say two things. One, to your like purchase and want to sell, Sean, it's really interesting to me because Nintendo has walked me in a fun way from like, I don't buy physical anymore. Like, I mean, I know on our Discord that's like heinous crime, but like I just don't buy physical anymore. I just don't. It doesn't. I never even look at that option. I'm just like, yep, I'm gonna purchase that, and that's just what I'm gonna do. And so they have walked me.
Get those sweet gold points.
yeah, they have walked me from physical to digital. And so now that I'm sitting at digital, I'm like, well, I don't care. I'm not going to own it I understand that when I purchase something digitally, I barely own it. Like I get that. Like I understand. Like people are like, well, I don't know that. If you purchase digital, they could take it. I get it. Yeah, I get it. I'm okay with that. Look at Luigi's Mansion. I own it digital. My son's playing it. That's great. I have no interest to really play it. I'm just playing it because my son's playing it. I don't really want to go back to it. So for them to walk me then to streaming is not that far of a leap for me, like it is for somebody who's still stuck at physical, who's still not, I don't want to say stuck, but still likes physical. Okay. And so it's funny, like when I hear you talk, I'm like, well, that's not like, I'm just like looking at it. So like, I'm kind of primed because Nintendo has taken me from there, brought me to here. And now is just saying one more step and you can play a game that you couldn't play before on your Switch. And now you can play it. And I'm like, I'm in. I'm sold. I'll pay it if I want to play it. I mean, like Hitman, it's funny. Hitman doesn't like have me as much, hasn't grabbed me, but I actually really loved that series. I think it was on the GameCube. I want to say it was on the GameCube, the first one. And I absolutely loved that game. I have some of the best memories from going into places like staking them out, walking. I remember like I came into a place, thought I knew what was going to happen. I broke in the door. I strangled somebody, hit him in a closet, and then like the maid came in, and I was like, oh, pushed her out the window, and I was like, and then finally the guy I needed to actually kill was there, so I just like strapped a bomb and jumped out the window, and like, it was like utter chaos. But the utter chaos is so much fun in Hitman, and so it's funny that that's not like the game that I want to play, but it's not. And sorry, none of that was family friendly, so I'm really sorry. So really sorry for that. But so first off, one, I don't think it wasn't a far step for me to be like, yeah, sure, I don't care. I've got Netflix, I got all this. I'm paying for digital stuff that I barely own. So now I'll just pay for something that I really don't own. Definitely 100%. The second is like you all talking about fiber. I live in a pretty rural area, not super rural, but pretty rural area. And we get cable that more than covers this. So I tried to do a research on like how much of our country cannot get 30 megabyte per second cable. Like who can't get that? But I couldn't really like come up with I know fiber is like the dream for everybody and that's great. Yeah. But we don't need fiber for this tech. Like you don't need that kind of a service. You just seems to need, all I can really go on is my experience. And so I know that it needs at least 30 megabytes per second. I can't imagine you can get much less than that and still run this.
And it's also hard because some people are not going to notice the lag as much as other people will.
True.
And I listened to a couple podcasts out there and people have talked about this service. So, like the new Hyrule Warriors game that came out. Mm-hmm. Some people were talking about how like, oh yeah, it chugs.
Yeah, I played the demo. When you start really making people fly, it's got a little chug to it for sure.
See, so it doesn't just. I just don't notice that as much. I'm not as. I don't know. I didn't notice that. But so I think that the streaming, maybe the lag, the latency wouldn't bother me as much, but it might bother my co-host Micah, who's definitely more attuned to that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think it's also like the personal preference in addition.
Sure.
Maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really excited to see where they go with this next. And I've said that I wrote this to the Nintendo dads. If they would drop games like Valhalla, Squadrons, Jedi Knight, I mean, all these third-party games coming out, I would gladly go put my Xbox Series S pre-order and for sale. Like, I would give it to anybody. That's the only, like, I understand when I'm excited about getting Xbox. People are always like, you do know there's actually no real exclusives for that. Like, why are you spending your money on this? I was like, I know that it's not. Like, I get it. Like, they've all got pushed to 2021.
This hits a little close to home. I just said that exact thing to my my buddy who bought the PS5.
Yeah, and I get it.
I was being a turd, just to give him stats.
I get it. Like, if I owned an Xbox One, I wouldn't be buying an Xbox Series S, but I don't. So why go with the last gen? Why not just? There will be exclusives for the Series S at some point. So just jump into what you're gonna play.
Yeah.
So that's why I did it. But
graphically with the Series S, because the last time you touched an Xbox was the 360.
That's true. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. My Red Ring of Death device.
So blown out of the water. This is the issue. Graphically, you're going to be like, even if you don't, because you don't have like a UHD 4K.
Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah.
But even the upscale for you is going to be, yeah. Complex is the word. I mean,
my eyes are going to bleed. Is that what you're saying, Sean?
Yeah. When I got my Xbox One, I got Forza Horizon, and I've still got the screenshot now. One of the cars that I used to rally in was a Peugeot 205, and I took a screenshot of that drifting around this corner, and it literally lived as my wallpaper for ages because it was just so realistic looking. I was like, right. This is like, I was amazed. And like, I was like grabbing Lindsay. I was like, look at this, look how amazing this looks. And she's like, that's the thing, the one little thing that the Nintendo Switch is going to really have an issue of living up to is the graphics of the PlayStation and the Xbox. I love Nintendo for the games. Nintendo games are like it's my childhood. But if I want a game that's going to look good graphically, I will go to a console like Xbox or PlayStation before Nintendo. Because Nintendo, to me, have always been the like Animal Crossing style Mii's and the more childlike animation than... I mean, this is like, I played Doom on the Switch and that made me eat my words because that still graphically looked amazing and it held its own. It never lagged. It never faltered with Doom. And I played it handheld all the time. But yeah, graphically, I think the streaming is what might halt the Nintendo going forwards. Unless with the next gen of Nintendo consoles, the Pro or it's just the Switch Plus or whatever they want to call it.
The Pro Plus Deluxe.
Yeah, Pro Plus Deluxe DS.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I think this is the thing that Nintendo, they're testing the waters with this to see if this can be the gap between power. Because if the Pro does anything, it's going to be to fix the janky Wi-Fi adapter that's in the Switch right now. Because that thing, that's the first thing that dies out of all my devices. Like, my iPad can work in a certain spot in my office that my Switch cannot. Like, it just won't, by work, I mean connect to the internet. It just won't connect. My Switch is the first device that loses connection from the Wi-Fi router. Is the first one that goes. And so...
The dock is going to need to, like, get a hard connection port.
Yeah. They put a hard connection in the dock. They update that Wi-Fi adapter so that it doesn't like lose connection to be the first device.
Into the dock. That's the other thing for me is add cool into the dock. If I play the Switch, because how my living room set up, it's kind of the dock's used to be sat next to the Xbox, but until I got this heating issue, it's now sat next to the Skybox because I barely ever gets used because who watches Sky nowadays when you can watch Netflix? So the issue I got is if I play like an hour or two if we play a round of Mario Party, like a 100 20-minute long. So 2 hours, 20 turns of Mario Party. If I take the Switch straight out of the dock, it's like a hot potato. It's so warm because it's run the game for 2 hours, sat in the dock while charging, and it's just like. So that's something else that it probably need if it's going to be handling high-powered graphics and streaming all at the same time.
That's a good point.
You're going to need extra cooling.
I got to tie a couple of thoughts that I had while you guys were sharing your thoughts on where we'll go. They really need to bring over games that will hit the target audience of the Switch, which is the more like family-friendly stuff. I don't think Hitman is a good first pick, personally. I think games, like I said, Kingdom Hearts was one. More racing games would be good. There was another one that I was like...
I think that's good. I think that's
Fall Guys.
What was it? What was it, Andrew?
And Among Us.
Yeah. So, yeah, Fall Guys for sure. And the Star Wars games Nick mentioned, Squadrons and the Jedi.
Yeah.
These games those make sense to me to be on a Nintendo system because of the target market for the Switch.
I agree with that. I agree. They could have probably picked another second game. Like Control still makes sense to me because it's on the cusp of like it's a game of the year, and I think that's why they chose it. And it is an action game, but it's also a story-driven kind of like horror-y type game. But then choosing something, that second game, to be a little more just on the edge of their target, like I think, that would have been a good idea for sure. I agree with that.
Horizon. That series.
Yeah. Any of that stuff. Yeah. Any of that stuff.
Now, what are your guys' thoughts on it? This essentially turns the Switch into a home console. It's no longer a portable. Like you can be portable as long as you've got Wi-Fi range.
Right. Yeah.
But it's no longer an on the go. You can't play any of those games on the go.
Yeah, that's the other kicker for sure. Yeah, that's the other thing I didn't mention. You're right. That stinks. But
for me, the Switch in itself and its versatility of docked, undocked, carry on playing. As soon as I looked at it and I thought, okay, Nintendo have always played the how well things work card until they actually come out and they don't work. And I was like, I thought the Switch was going to be a gimmick. I thought this can't be as good as they say it's going to be. And then the first day I took it out of the box, slotted it in the dock, loaded it all up, started playing Zelda. Like, wife wanted to watch telly, and I thought, okay, let's see if this works. Click, click, lifted it up, carried on playing. I was like, holy, this is amazing. And as soon as that worked, that seamless motion of taking it, that instantly made the Switch a home console straight away. Mm-hmm. The fact that I can be playing at home, take it with me, play at work, play in the car while my wife's driving, play sat on the toilet while I'm listening out for big rocks. All that sort of stuff. And then like being able to stick it, like put it in sleep mode, stick it in the dock, let it charge, kids go to bed, boom, carry on exactly where I left off. That restart function is my favorite thing about the Xbox. The Switch having that restart function and the fact that I can pick it up and walk away with it has made the Switch a bigger home console than my Xbox and my PlayStation. The day I got the Switch, the PS4 just died a death. I didn't turn it on. I had it for another 18 months and then sold it. The Xbox, I only get stuff when, like I said, like Doom Eternal, stuff like that seriously comes out, but it's got to be on Game Pass, or I'm not bothered. So that side of it, being a home console, because you've got to have it docked to have that tethered connection to the internet. You can't walk out the house and play it. Doesn't bother me that much because I would only ever play it in the house or with it docked. Because it's earned its right in the fact that it works how it works has given the Nintendo, for me, the right to be back in the competing with the like Xbox and PlayStation home consoles for that and that reason. To the fact where now cloud gaming's coming in. Microsoft are trying to make phones that you can connect your Xbox controller to, so you can play using your mobile network while out and about, and then continue playing that game at home when you get home. That reload function is what's in the Xbox Series X, but it doesn't work properly because they're saying that it's missing load states between your mobile device and your Xbox. So, like, even now with a more superior generation console graphically and how, like, the system inside, the Nintendo still wins. So, for me, it being a home console and still being able to be, it still sits there and does that. So, yeah, that's my take on the whole it being a home console. It just is anyway. It just has that quirkiness that you can carry around with you.
Well, I think we have gone for 2.5 hours. Or time close. So why don't you wrap us up, Sean?
So yeah, Dad Crossing is a part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can find new Nintendo Dads content wherever podcasts can be found. If you have questions or comments, you can reach out to us on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Everything is at @NDadCrossing. We want to give the Nintendo Dads a big thanks for making this craziness happen. From Nick, Andrew, and myself, we hope your village is sunny and your villagers are happy.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Now we'll go back.